2018 Board of Selectmen meeting. Forgot where we were for a second. May everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First of all, I would like to welcome new Selectman Hood. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Welcome.
you very much.
Welcome to the fire.
Happy to be here. Ask me in a couple
Give it a couple hours.
Let's ask him again at the end of the night, okay?
We have any amendments or anything?
Mr. Chairman, there are no amendments that I have to the agenda.
You guys got
No
any?
amendments.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed. I guess first, what's that? You have the warrant? Is there a
I
warrant
was just
this
going to
week?
say, was there a warrant?
There was one that I'll give under my report.
Okay, you said.
Oh, that's right, that's
Okay.
right.
Yep.
All right, I was going to mention something about Gary, but we'll do that under public input. So we obviously have the Lunenburg Ayer, or Ayer Lunenburg, I don't know how you guys exactly, Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. What are we going to hear tonight? Hockey team. Sorry, you guys have been winning state titles over there between the hockey and the track. So we wanted to bring you guys in tonight to recognize it. Is the coach? Coach, come up. You mind coming up, Coach?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no worries.
This is a fantastic achievement for such a small program.
Yeah, it's been an incredible ride. We had a great year from start to finish. We've been, building up to this for years. We've made it close a couple times, but it's the first time that the team has won a Lunenburg has won a district championship in 36 years and the first ever state championship. And the co-op between Ayer and Lunenburg started 19 years ago, and it's the first time. Obviously for the co-op. So it's just an amazing experience. The kids played just unbelievable in the entire tournament, and it was, special for all three towns.
Absolutely. Especially for small towns. It's hard for smaller communities to sometimes compete for these state titles.
Yeah, a lot of things have to go right. Obviously you have to have a good team, good players, good goaltending. But, just all came together, and there was a lot of individual performances that were special, but it was also definitely a team win. We couldn't have done it without everybody on the roster.
Oh, that's great. The final was out in Springfield?
Yep, Springfield, the 3A finals in Springfield. We played East Hampton. It was 5-2 win. Yep. So we're headed to the State House on Thursday. Meet the governor.
Oh, this is small potatoes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So
thinking we're
yeah,
doing
it's
something
been-
cool here. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'll remember it.
No, we appreciate. A lot of the kids had sports and stuff tonight, but we have some players from both schools here tonight to represent the group, and we appreciate you guys recognizing.
If we could, well, let me read this first, and then. So this is from the Ayer Board of Selectmen. Certificate of Recognition: Lunenburg Ayer Shirley Varsity Hockey Team, Division 3A State Champions. Invaluable recognition of your successful 2018 season and winning the state championship. On behalf of the town of Ayer, congratulations and best of luck in the future. So if you guys, congratulations, actually. Yeah, it'd be great if you guys want to come up and pose with us. You guys, is the captain here? Or?
Yeah, well, Nate.
Nate, hop up here. You can hold it. The coach can hold it. Yeah. You want to stand there?
All right.
Hockey.
Excellent. Perfect.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. Good job.
Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Tell the governor we said hi.
Yeah, I will. Don't forget us.
I'll say who?
I know. Tell them.
Anybody, we're getting, this is kind of a regular thing here. We're bringing the,
Yes, Mr. Chair, the track team will be the first meeting in June.
great,
They would be here tonight, but they have a track meet.
yeah. Anybody here for public input before, No? So, just real quick, I wanted to wing this a little bit, but I wanted to thank Selectman Luca for 12 years serving here on the board. That's a long time to be on this board. His commitment to the town, and I really, in speaking for myself, I liked working with him. We didn't always agree, but we always kept it respectful, and I now consider him a friend. So I'm glad to have Scott, obviously, but I just wanted to, mention that we do appreciate Gary's service to the town, and hopefully he stays active in the community
Absolutely.
moving forward.
He did a lot more than just the Board of Selectmen also. I
Yep.
served with him community preservation for a couple of years when there were BOS and FinCom members on that, and always came to every meeting heavily prepared, so
Yep.
it was a
And in
pleasure
those
working
12
with him.
years, there was a lot accomplished.
Yeah.
One, because he was on the board.
No, I agree. So thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Lieutenant? We haven't switched over to cooling yet, have we?
No. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hope it's tomorrow.
I know. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good, how are you?
So, on behalf of the chief, I'm here to present Chris Herstrom and
Chris?
to the board for recommendation that he be promoted to the communications supervisor in the dispatch. The communications supervisor is a new position to us. We're very excited to have this been created. In the reasoning that we needed to create the supervisor is of the regional dispatch that's moving quickly ahead and almost coming to a finality. So one of the things that we need is a supervisor to help supervise the large group of dispatchers that we now have. So the regional dispatch we're hoping is going to be completed in May, mid-May, and we want Chris as appointed to, hopefully have Chris appointed to that position prior to us going live. Chris came to us in 2014 as a per diem and part-time dispatcher, and in 2015 became full-time. During his time here as a full-time dispatcher, he's shown qualities that we're very excited about to have in a leader in that dispatch position, in the communication supervisor position. We've had some very unfortunate events at the dispatch, and Chris has stepped up and filled many voids in there. We're very confident that Chris will be a great communication supervisor, and we hope that the board sees that as well.
Excellent.
Anybody have any questions?
I do not.
So Lieutenant, just so Chris would oversee the dispatchers, working under obviously you and the chief.
Yes, so he would be akin to a sergeant, somebody that's in charge of a group of people. He'll 9 dispatchers full-time and a couple part-timers.
Sounds like a lot of work being the beginning, first crack at it, but
Yeah.
sounds kind of exciting too. You can
Very
kinda
exciting.
Shape it the way you see fit, hopefully the right way. But I have faith in you. Robert, did you have your hand up? I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to add that Christopher is one of our finest dispatchers, and actually we have a great dispatch across the board, and he's done an excellent job in that capacity. And he's also the president of the union. We don't want to hold that against you. And I was been very impressed with his leadership amongst the membership, his professionalism, and enjoyed working with him on the contract negotiation. So we have an excellent candidate has the skills to oversee that department successfully.
One question. So being union, disciplinary, I always have trouble saying that word. how does that work? Will that jump up to you guys in terms of being in the?
As it is now, any disciplinary action would come to the.
All right, so that would be
myself,
any situations or anything like that would be brought to you guys. I'm just trying to
Yes.
separate the two there, obviously. And then Robert, with steps or everything, I didn't see anything in here about
It's true.
steps or pay grade or anything like that, or did I miss it?
If I may
No,
add,
it's union.
Please.
so currently, right now, there's an MOA that will be in place once we have a communications supervisor in place. In the proposed contract that's coming up for FY19, the communications supervisor is addressed in the new contract
Okay.
with a compensation grid.
All right, so we're good with that. All right, great. Thanks.
I just would like to point out that Chris has his mother-in-law Corinne here and his
Hi, Corinne.
sister-in-law Caitlin.
Caitlin?
I believe I saw at least one dispatcher come through. One of our newest dispatchers, Janet, came in.
Oh, that's fantastic. You guys are doing a great job getting this going, so I know it's been a lot of work, so.
Yeah, we have a couple things happening this week, some major things, some radios getting put in this week.
Right.
We have a major meeting with our data, compiling the two Shirley's and Ayer's data together. That's a big meeting happening this week as well. So the ball is moving really fast right now.
Great, good work. Anybody else?
I just gotta say, overall, since, we have regionalized with Shirley and everything, you guys have all been doing an outstanding job getting this thing up and running and everything, so I commend all of you.
Yeah, right now there's a big training component going on, and with Chris's leadership, we hope to get that fully accomplished.
Great.
All right, that sounds great.
And Sergeant Cody just poked into as well for support.
Well, with that, I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen promote dispatcher Christopher Herstrom to the newly created position of Communications Supervisor, effective immediately.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
God, we've had a lot of this stuff going on between recognition of,
No.
school things and promotions and all sorts of stuff. It's been quite exciting. We don't have a clerk. I can step in if you would both like, or Scott can give it a go.
Tell me what I need to say.
Just
Read the public hearing notice.
Just a public hearing notice. The Ayer Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018 at 7:05 p.m. at the Ayer Town Hall, first floor meeting room, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Massachusetts, 01432, regarding an application by R&R Concepts Corporation, 25 Main Street, Ayer, Massachusetts, 01432, seeking a transfer of Section 12 all alcohol on-premise license from Keith Layton to R&R Concepts pursuant to Mass General Law C-138. Can't remember what the C stands for. Chapter, thank you.
All right, public hearing is now open. We did that on time too, right? We're 7:15?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know that sometimes can be. Hi, guys.
What's up?
All right.
Chris?
I'm good, Keith. How are you?
Very well.
Good. You guys want to give us a little...
Yeah, so basically, the pub that I built over my building, I met Reza along the way. He came in and absolutely loved the place and has a lot more experience than I do in the whole bar restaurant world. And we started talking quite a bit, and he wanted to sign a 10-year lease. So I said, why not?
That's a compliment.
Yeah, he's got accomplished business in the, he's got had a couple places, now he has another place, and so I decided just to lease it out rather than run it myself.
Might be a good decision. Might be in the restaurant field. But,
Going to bed at 9
yeah.
o'clock at night.
And Keith, this is the next to Union.
Yeah,
Coffee
next
Roast?
to
Okay.
my tenants over there.
Sir, what is your intentions for the pub? I mean, same type thing that Keith?
The vision stays the same. Creating something craft on beer and alcohol sides. Some of the thing that we're going to try on the spirit side is doing some fresh fruit based drinks that introducing that kind of into the craft world. But as far as the vision that Keith had, it's going to continue in the same manner.
All right. And if is that a time frame, like for you, if we were to approve this? for you
It's contingent, obviously, on
Sure.
the transfer and how long that takes. Most everything's been built there. There's just a few more things. I would say about another 25% to go. And if everything goes according to plan, sometime in mid-June into July, depending again on contractors and such and the transfer.
Yeah, there's not a ton of work to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I already built a bar and everything's in place, some equipment needed and all that, but other than that, and usually these transfers go pretty quick, so,
Sounds
because I
good.
know the transfer on the other place went pretty quick.
Mhm. Well, I myself have no objections. I read through everything and everything looked good to me. I don't know if you guys have any questions or?
One question I want to double check, because it was in the packet, so the public could see it and everything like that. There was a little incident at another establishment you owned.
Yes.
What are you going to do to ensure that that doesn't happen again?
Sure. So I'll give you a brief explanation of what happened, so it's very transparent. I own a nightclub in a college town in Amherst, Mass. We just turned 7 years old last week. In those 7 years, we had one incident, and that incident happened. There were multiple things that happened. So when we came into Amherst, we introduced the scanner systems to it because we knew that was something that was going to be needed, and we were going to be held responsible for what we do. Along the way, there are certain companies that came along and are producing fake IDs that scan their backups. So we had to find ways to do our due diligence to make sure, how to mitigate those risks. That was one of the times that it fell through the cracks. And so when it happened, we spoke to the police department. We spoke to the people responsible in town to make sure that we're doing everything for that not to happen. Thankfully, it hasn't happened since then. And over here, I see a different demographic, and one of the draws here is that different demographic, a mature demographic. We see some, obviously, people that have been here for a long time, and we see a surge of young professionals from having conversations with Keith and doing some background checks myself, and some studying in town and around. So. Same thing. We're going to make sure we do our due diligence, make sure that all the things that we've learned in the past, I've learned in the past that doesn't, that led to that incident doesn't happen again here. But if there's anything specific that you want us to do, I'm always open to that conversation. One of the reasons why I'm drawn to the small town concepts is because of this, because it's more intimate, and I prefer that over being in a big city environment.
And I think that violation, wasn't it just, it's off it was like a probation period.
There was a probation, we were
It
never fined
really
for it.
it never really
Yeah.
counted as a violation. It was a probation period.
Right.
And obviously in a college town, fake IDs are very, and not only that, because
Thank you.
I looked into those IDs, and there's I think it's out of China, of course. They make these IDs that are actually scannable on the scanners that they want all the bars to use, and it's almost impossible. Because if you have a scanner and you check in an ID and everything scans properly on there, it's it's near impossible to not have something like that. I mean, it could happen again, I suppose, if they have scannable IDs.
We found there's certain things that we found out. So one of the things is that Massachusetts has a very solid ID. New York has a very solid ID.
Well,
The
we're not
IDs
under a real ID. Our real ID, it just started. So we don't have the real ID as far as like what they're asking for national-wise. That just started 2 weeks ago or so.
No, as far as so we found that the companies that are producing these out of China, do not produce Massachusetts IDs or New York IDs, they're tough to emulate. There are certain things that the IDs that are predominantly being produced are
Other
usually
states.
Virginia, Maine, Pennsylvania, and then we've looked at what are little things in the real ID as opposed to the fake ones, and that's how we've been able to mitigate those risks.
You're probably not going to see too many of those states in
I would hope not.
Middletown.
Yeah. Well, luckily we haven't had, I don't think we've had too much of a problem with these types of things in air, so, but like I said, you know, it was in the packet,
I mean,
and the public can read the packet and see it, so I wanted to talk about it and everything.
and just to, Robert, Chief Murray obviously looked into this.
Yeah,
and
Mr.
has
Chair,
those.
to Selectman Livingston's line of questioning, as you'll see in the departmental review, that Chief Murray did flag that, so I appreciate the gentleman's
Mhm.
response and appreciate the Selectman bringing that up.
Yep.
Do
Any
that,
other
and
questions?
you'll get your food permit and all that?
As of right now, the food is not part of the
Okay.
law plan, but if we see that there's a need for it, it would be something that we would like to pursue.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, they do have to just go through the Board of Health though, because you'll have ice. which-
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
So you
reading that,
talk
we'll
with
need to
Bridget.
obtain,
I
yeah.
think Bridget is
Mhm.
gonna reach out or,
Yeah, I've already talked to
Yeah.
her quite a bit. She's been over there quite a few times.
got it.
I have no other questions.
No, I'm actually looking forward to it, so I
Same here.
think it'll be good.
And do you have everything you need?
Yeah, did you guys pay online, that 200?
No, that's what I was gonna do. So should I just pay it online or?
Yeah, you have to do it online now, the state won't take a check, the ABCC, but come see me tomorrow and we can hash it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody, any public, well, department heads, so I can say. No? Good. All right. Anybody want to make a motion, or?
I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up.
I would like to make a motion for the Board of Selectmen to approve the, hold on, let me get to that page, transfer of the liquor license that's currently with Tross Corporation. It's currently with Tross, right?
Correct.
And then it
Yeah,
to be
that's-
transferred
That's
to
the
R&R
company that owns
Concepts.
the building.
Okay, to be transferred to R&R Concepts Corporation, DBA Bar 25.
Second.
And that would be effective immediately, obviously.
Well,
once
once
payment
the
is-
ABCC
payment and
approves,
signs
yeah.
off, yeah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Congratulations, we wish you luck, and,
Yeah.
yeah, I am too, actually.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, Mr. Cataldo.
Mr. Chairman, thanks for giving us the time to meet with you tonight.
Yeah.
My son Michael, I'm
Michael.
Joe Cataldo. I live in Littleton, Mass. Michael lives in Westford, Mass. We have a purchase and sale agreement executed on 66 Westford Road. We've done a permanent survey of the property. We are in the process of doing the soil assessment of the property. We finished that yesterday. We have a mortgage commitment from a bank. We're prepared to close the loan and purchase the property by May 28th. The one remaining item is the 21E report that we have to provide to our lender. We wanted to come this evening to introduce ourselves, show you the plan that we have, and allow you to ask any questions of us.
So Joe, if you want to sign it, I have all of them up. I think that's all.
Probably one of
That's
I'm
probably
gonna-
the
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna give it to my son. And let him-
So if you just use the cursor as a pointer here, you'll see the sign.
So,
Yeah.
so, just to finish, and the property will be held in an LLC, Sawyer May LLC, which Michael and I will own jointly. And MJ Cataldo, which is the company that we operate, site and landscape construction, will be the primary and main tenant. And we will look to lease some of the property, some of the interior space, as well as some exterior storage. But I'll allow Michael to explain what we're doing.
So I think everyone in the room is pretty familiar with the property over on this side.
Yes, we are.
No, I should have phrased that differently. This part of the property here is an easement with National Grid. So in looking at how to develop it, it would be part of the purchase. We're in the process of going through with National Grid and seeing what the abilities are, but what we've basically come to is it's a good area to allow for parking, and primarily this parking would be employees parking, so in and out throughout the day, or come to work, park the cars and go away, and then some of our trucks would be parked there as well. The building itself would be approximately 9,000 square feet in this box here, with some outdoor storage or wash bay in this area. And the idea here is this site kind of drops off. We didn't bring a conceptual, but from the road it would be more of a 1.5 story building, and this would drop down, and in the back here would be more of a 2-story building. Our thought was to bring the building close to the road for a couple of reasons. One, primarily to kind of screen the operation, and it kind of works well functionality wise to have it close to the building here. We are a landscape and site work company, so back here we would be looking to store materials, kind of bulk storage areas here, and we've provided screening kind of in the back and rear of the property, and screening here as well. We would also be looking to store loam materials here, and screen material on site in the back here as well. This area off to the side here is just more kind of general storage. We do use dumpster containers, but then just let everyone know it's not a dumpster operation with trash in those containers. They're pretty much empty at all times and used to move materials around. We do move trash, but it would never be on site. So that was really kind of the concept that we had, and wanted to share it and introduce ourselves to you guys. We're excited about this opportunity, and everything seems to be lining up, and we're optimistic that we can move forward with it.
Is that a berm in the back, or is it maybe
Yes, yeah.
neighbors?
Yep. So, obviously we are aware there are a couple homes back in this area. The nice piece about this is, most of the neighbors here are industrial, and the tension wires and so forth, but we're not blind to the fact that there are some neighbors back here, so we're trying to make a good effort to kind of put these containers here as kind of a wall or storage bins. These would be more kind of concrete blocks, but to build them into kind of a berm and put trees on top so that they would be shielded. It is pretty heavily wooded here, which is nice, but we would like to add to that, and of course along here as well. And we're in that business, so we'd like to think we could make it look nice and make it work for everybody.
Yeah, well, I've seen your work. You guys are certainly capable of making it look nice.
Thank you.
Is that paved in the front, the gray, around the building?
Yes, the idea is this area would be paved. The rest of this would be like a dense grade or a wrap material.
Yeah.
The intent is to not pave all back here. I believe in the last concept, these areas here would be used for stormwater management.
I think there is a
and
plan.
then potentially the roof building would have stormwater management up in here to collect the roof leaders.
I mean, I've always seen that as an industrial site where it's located. I guess, obviously, I know these gentlemen from Brooklyn, or at least their work, and I have no issues with that. It's obviously the best concept is people have gone through so much in the neighborhood behind that, I think this is a good plan. I'm just, I think you guys have done a good job to kind of utilize the site, but like you say, keep the building and stuff up front. Keep some of the noise, and it can never be any worse than what was there, so. But I think this is a nice plan.
Mr. Chair? Yes. How many employees are you anticipating?
You know, I'd have to dive into that a little further, because our whole operation probably wouldn't be here. I don't know, 20 to 25, maybe 30. You know, and some of our employees will kind of meet there and then leave but not be there. So I wish I could give you a more straightforward answer. It's not manufacturing, it's not industrial where there's going to be a lot of employees there all day long.
This is coming in and getting the trucks, finding out where you're going.
Correct.
A lot of that.
Correct.
Yep. You know, at our current operation, we have a staff of about 5 in the office, and we have a couple mechanics. And that's all kind of around during the day, but people come and go. Does this, do I move that or do you?
There's the, that plan right there.
Yeah, this shows, this is a grading plan and has the stormwater area kind of right in here.
Mark, Dan, Alan, Charlie, I mean, any preliminary thoughts or?
We had them in for a land use meeting,
Mhm.
which is conservation plan and economic. And our concern were primarily the neighbors in the back.
Yeah.
They had a 6-foot berm, and we asked them if they wouldn't mind going up a couple more feet, and they were agreeable to that, and everything else we've asked of them, they've been agreeable to. So we didn't have a problem at the land use meeting with what they were proposing or how they were proposing it.
Right. And your operation now is over at the, behind the store over in?
Correct. Correct.
So, I mean, that's a residential neighborhood too, and I've never heard any complaints or any issues.
We're busting at the seams at this point in time, and we need to make this investment and have an operation that works well traffic-wise, and this would really suit our needs. And obviously, as Michael said, we're very excited and look forward to making an investment in Ayer.
Gentlemen, chiefs, do you have anything to add or any concerns?
I've talked to fellows about, we will be paving Westford Road hopefully by the end of May.
Thank God.
It's actually us instead of the town of Groton. So just if they're moving ahead, they ought to get the utilities in sooner rather than later.
Because dealing with the gas company is so easy anyway, so I'm sure you'll be able to make that happen this week. Okay, Jen?
So, first of all, I really appreciate the fact, what Charlie just said, that you guys are being very amenable. Please remember, those neighbors went through HE double toothpicks, okay? So, really, if you can do that little extra, it would be so appreciated. And they've earned it.
Yep.
They're very good people, and
Yeah.
they've really earned it.
Yep.
You know, so it's great to know that you're, approachable about this and everything like that. So, but yeah, they've been no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Understood.
So.
There's 2 yellows.
Okay.
We have a preliminary hearing with planning board next week, and we also said at the land use meeting that once we got the names of those abutters, we would go and meet with them and show them what we would like to do, and have some dialogue with them when the time's appropriate.
That's great. That's nice. That's nice. So, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, Robert, through our means and stuff, that's all, obviously not their problem, but that's all handled in the closing through our attorneys. The town's reimbursement on the
Correct.
lien.
Mr. Chairman, as you're aware, upon the transaction, the town will be first reimbursed for the remediation of the site, as well as any liens, back taxes, and so forth. So that will be seamless when that happens. And if I could just add, the Cataldos have been great to work with to this point. I have a proven record. I think this is an excellent fit, as said, as Selectman Livingston mentioned too. these guys, if anybody can get the aesthetics right and the berm and so forth, it's them. But I think it'll be a welcomed addition to the business community of the town of Ayer, and a real great success story to that site. So thank you.
Great. Thank you. Guys, thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank you very much for your time.
21E and all that good stuff, hopefully that goes well. and
Yes,
you guys can
we
proceed.
don't anticipate any issues. I did speak to Carly this morning and asked if our closing attorney could engage in a discussion with the town attorney so we can get the MCL squared away. So they will reach out to one another in the near future.
Yeah, I talked to Susan this morning on the tax, the back taxes will be on the municipal lien
Right.
certificate, and then
Right.
that statement of claim I just gave you, we just have to enter it into the software. But
Right.
we're working on that with the accountant.
Well,
so.
what'll happen is once we go, the bank gets the MCL,
Yeah.
everything that you have should show up on
Yep,
that.
and we'll
So,
make sure it does.
Okay.
Yep.
great. Thank you very
All
much
right.
for your time.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just real quick, as I do sometimes, I forgot to recognize our student reporter. I believe it's Nicole this evening.
Yeah.
Nicole Patano and Mrs. Cavasso. How was Italy? Taxing with a lot of kids?
Absolutely not.
No? Great.
No, just bad news. I'm sad to be back.
Is this the one more meeting they're going to cover, and then
Mr. Chair, the students are going to cover the meeting on the 15th.
Yep.
And I've asked all of the students to come on the 15th for the board to recognize them. And then I had a brief conversation with Dr. Malone. We're committed to continue the program, and we'll meet with all involved to figure out ways we can expand it. And I know you have some ideas, as the board does, on that. So I think it was a great first year. Students did an excellent job. So we'll recognize them on the 15th and then move forward from there.
all right, fantastic. We have Mr. Grazi. Chief.
Yeah, we go months without seeing him, and then all
We
of a
will.
sudden, every time we turn around, there he is.
Yeah. It's all right. Save punch it all together. Good to see you, Chief.
Yeah, nice to see you. So I have Littleton Fire Department is changing their ambulance service from a basic level up to paramedic level, starting, hopefully he wants to start July 1st. So when you go to the ALS level, we are at the ALS level. We have an agreement with them, union agreement, so only one entity can bill, and then you get reimbursed. So you need a contract to be able to do that. So we already have a contract going the other way. If we go to Littleton, we have a contract with them to pay. This is just the exact same thing, same contract. So if we need to call them, then we would do the billing, and then we would reimburse them for their portion of it.
And this is just for paramedic?
It's just a paramedic service. That's it. But it's an intermunicipal agreement, so it needs to be signed by the chairman of the board. And I have two of them, and I need them back because they're not signed by Littleton yet. He's trying to collect them all and get them signed all at one meeting.
So we have to vote on this, I guess?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve an intermunicipal agreement between Littleton Air and Air for paramedic intercept services.
Seconded?
All in favor? Aye.
So all three of them are in
No, only the chair needs to sign.
There's three.
Do you want us all to sign?
We can all sign.
Why don't we all sign, just to be on the safe side? We're a team.
Took my pen. Where's my pen?
I didn't take your pen.
My pen's.
That's a pencil.
You took it.
Yeah, right.
He is a pen geek, just so you know.
I'm not. I'm gonna steal your pen.
Not a pen.
Oh, stylus. That'll work. Jeez. Must have lost my left finger.
That's my stylus, it's broken.
Is there two? You need a pen, don't you?
Oh, wait.
Which one, these?
When are we switching the chiller over?
Oh, look at this.
When's the system get switched over? June
I
1st?
want to talk to Chuck about that.
I know.
I guess tomorrow it's gonna be
Wasn't
The
there?
week is supposed to be in the 80s.
Wasn't there like 2
But
years
then
ago
next
we
week
got
it-
burned? We turned it, you switched it over, and then it
Yeah.
got cold for a couple.
Yeah, and then
days.
next week it's supposed to drop again, so we're just gonna have to. We could open a window.
You want the window open?
Seen the size of the
A
mosquitoes?
little
that have been
oxygen
flying
would be
around?
nice.
Yeah, mosquitoes will carry us away.
Yeah. All right, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See ya.
Thank you, Chief.
Have a good night.
You too.
See you. Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Is town meeting next Monday or the following
Next Monday. No, the 14th,
weeks,
the
right?
following.
14th.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You too, Chief.
I'll get the screen and,
Yeah, if we had new windows.
Thank you.
See, we don't need new windows. Alan. Director of Economic and Community Development. Ah. Probably. No, that's good.
Wow. We'll get them later.
Oh, don't worry, I always get one.
Where's she doing?
Oh, we have those old screens my great-grandmother had. Good.
Calvin, how nice to see you.
See if we said that on Friday. Do you have
Yeah, he's even smiling.
anything up on the?
no, not for this.
Not for this.
It's all about him.
Alan?
Okay, thank you, through you, Mr. Chairman. Just quickly, the Historic Air Central Fire Station, I believe you have before you tonight purchase and sale document for your execution. We have been working together, our municipal council and Mr. Moore's municipal council, and I think we have everything pretty much settled out, negotiated. I keep looking at Mr. Moore, but I...
Do your favor.
That, well,
Oh,
that...
Stop.
That's
No.
right, my friend. Yeah. And, but all is good. Okay. And, if you noticed today, a lot of the personal property that's in there is being cleaned out of the station this week. It was great seeing the bays open. And finally, I believe it's either next Monday, the 7th, or Tuesday, that we will be going to closing, next Monday. Correct? We are closing.
Balloons will be released from Town Hall.
In my heart.
third time's a charm.
There we go.
Everybody needs to move out of town if this don't go well. You too.
Scott, you anything going on it right away? At least buttoning up the outside is your plan?
Yeah, what our plan is once we own it, we're gonna take the cupola out of there, because it's really not in good shape. We had our contractors on the roof today. We're gonna bring a crane in, we're gonna dismantle it and take it out, we're gonna seal up the roof, and we're gonna bring it inside that we can get it rebuilt off of the roof, which will save a lot of labor, but if it goes through the summer and the fall of rain, it's just
I agree.
kiss it goodbye. So that's our next move.
Alan, you let historical know, just
Oh, yes, no, we're
because you
gonna
know
work
how
very
that.
closely with the
we
Historic
touched the number
Commission.
up here on the
Yeah.
fire.
And I'll be
Never was
working
coming
there with them closely, as I'm a 25-year historic preservationist and planner. So, yeah, we'll be all working together, and that's just really good to hear, Council, because that is the proper way to do it, is to remove the cupola, and that's how it's done in the best. So,
I gotta stop the damage.
No, I agree. I mean, as someone that walked through the building, pretty.
and I'll just say this, it speaks to the building back then, 1934. The building's been empty for, my God, over 15 years, and it's still, intact. If you had built the building in the 1980s, 30s, it would have been collapsing now. So it just speaks to the materials and the way that thing was built, that it's right. It hung on.
Probably bought it at our lumberyard, that's why.
Probably, Calvin. So there we are.
All right.
We're ready to rock.
Yep.
Good.
Well,
Robert?
unless Scott has any questions.
Robert, do you have a question? I'm sorry.
Oh, Mr. Chair, so what we're looking for this evening, obviously,
Is
is
to approve the purchase and
purchase and
sale,
sale.
so
And
that
the-
we can move forward to the closing?
yes, and the deed. So
Yeah.
there'd be two motions, one for the PNS, one for the deed. And just for the record, we do have a $5,000 deposit in the
Should be good.
in the 45,000. What do you mean it should be good? We have a $5,000 deposit, it's non-refundable, and the 45,000 will be put at closing.
Yep.
All right, so two, one for the PNS
And one for the
one
deed.
for the deed.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase and sale of the old fire station from the
Historic
town.
fire station.
Historic fire
Historic.
station. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Pardon me.
From the town of Ayer to Calvin Moore, trustee of Cowfield Realty Trust 2.
Seconded.
Correction.
Yep.
Cowfield Station LLC.
Cowfield Station LLC.
Oh, it says trustee of Cowfield Realty, but this is a draft.
Yeah.
The new LLC was just
The paper
established
that we have
today.
is
yeah.
correct.
Okay, so all right.
So I will make a motion to approve the purchase and sale of the historic fire station from the town of Ayer to Cowfield Station LLC.
Seconded.
Aye.
Good deal.
All right, now you want the.
So for the deed, is a transfer of the deed? How does that have to be
Yes,
worded?
yeah, transfer of the
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the transfer of the deed of the historical fire station from the town of Ayer to Cowfield Station LLC.
Seconded.
Aye.
So, just procedurally, these are gonna go to Katie Klein. We're gonna have you sign, but, the buyer and his attorney have asked that everyone initial every page, so we'll do it after
Every
the
single
meeting.
There's only 36 pages.
We'll do it.
That's it?
So we'll do.
Request of the buyer.
He just doesn't want you guys to slide into different pages.
Oh.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, so we'll do that after the meeting and we'll get it all teed up.
All right, and on Monday the 7th, what time?
I think it's in the morning, right?
I'm serious, you might be there with balloons.
I think it's 10
Huh?
p.m.
10 a.m.?
Yes, yes. I'll confirm it tomorrow and we'll send
Yeah,
it.
I believe it is.
At where? It should be
Tom's
at the
office.
fire station.
It's going to be at the fire station. It's going to be at
Should
attorney.
be photos.
Attorney Gibbons'
Attorney
office.
Gibbons' office, I think. at 10.
Photos.
We'll take care of
We'll
that.
get some photos.
I'm going to videotape.
We'll take
I
care
want
of
it
that.
sent to me.
What's that?
I want a video.
She might show up.
I may show up. I may have to take Monday off.
She's 100% serious. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calvin.
Calvin, thank you.
Hey, Scott. I got grandkids here, but congratulations. I'm looking at you. I said, "When is he gonna open?"
Great to see you.
Thanks, Calvin.
Do I advance?
Thank you very much, everybody.
Good night. Are you hopping up here?
And I think, folks, what I might have to stand close is just because my eyesight is failing me.
You wanna come up here, Alan?
And I feel like I'm not going to be able to see a
Do
couple
you want to
of
come up?
I think if I might kind of stand here.
No, I can move over.
Like an accordion here. Okay. Should I wait for James?
She said this.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay. Okay, form-based code presentation on Park Street. And folks, what I'm doing tonight simply is giving you the spirit, the principles of it. This is not a technical presentation. What I'd like to do is a volume 2, part 2 presentation for you, actually on the technical aspects of actually formulating the code. This is the spirit. And I say this. This woman here is going to shut me off in 15 minutes, so I'm going to do the best I can. And okay, so here we go. Oh, I know. So, all right, so I'll try to do the best I can to get through it. You have arrived in downtown Ayer. Yes, this is downtown. Is that what you think of when you see a classic downtown? So we're going downtown to visit it. That is downtown Ayer. This is downtown Ayer as well. Are they the same place? They are. They're both subject to the same zoning right now. They both are downtown. Two different worlds, yes? They both are subject to the same uses. But you'll notice they have two very strikingly different forms, physical forms. Our zoning map, and you see our zoning map, the downtown zone is right there. It doesn't translate so well, but the main point is to understand Park Street is subject to our downtown zoning and has been for many years. And again, you see Main Street here, the building frontage form, and Park Street. And again, you see the development pattern that comes apart in two very distinct physical places. But yet, they are both subject to the same use-based zoning. Both have eateries, both have professional offices, both have residential units. Are they not the same? No, we know they are two very different worlds. Wow, that bumped all over the place. So much for that. That didn't go good. Okay. Well, believe it or not, these are excerpts, and this is not how it's supposed to come out. But I know why. It took out the white, the actual things I highlighted in white. Oh, well. Oh, this will make it more interesting. The bottom point of this, folks, is what they can, the word, there are supposed to be words here that I highlighted. It didn't translate well. Technical problem. What it is saying, though, what it was saying, yeah, right, in our conference, that we are to extend the character and the identity of downtown into Park Street. I love this. The very words, this is great, that I had to highlight are the ones that aren't there.
That's all right.
Do you want to mark it and write them?
I love being the professional role of this stuff. But guys, what you see woven through our master plans is continually, it said Park Street is to be woven into the fabric, the heritage, the identity, and character. And I ask all of you, when we talk about use-based zoning, what do we mean when we say the identity of downtown, the character of downtown? This is what's in our master plans, and there's a disconnect when you get to our zoning, our use-based zoning. And this is why developers, this is funny, I have to go past all this because forget it. So here we see, is this in fact, over the last 20 years, and our master plans have said for the last 20 years, deliver this as a downtown fabric, identity and character. Here's what we have today. Obviously, it has not delivered it, and we have been doing this for 20 years, and the pattern has stayed the same. Conventional use-based zoning is text-based. It's legal, vernacular, lengthy, complex, and we look at zoning. You all enjoy looking through zoning ordinances. None of us do. Traditional form-based codes in their format and presentation are strikingly different. They're illustrative, diagrammatic, graphic, concise, simple, clear, understandable. Conventional use-based zoning results in unpredictability. Form-based codes deliver predictability of form. Most developers, when they approach us and they say, what do you want us to do on Park Street, and they look at our zoning, their reaction is what I call the confused interpretation, trying to figure out what do you want us to do here on Park Street? How is it that it would become part of your downtown fabric? The police power is what both conventional use-based zoning and form-based codes are based upon. Same construct. I have to go through this. It's just unreal. I'm going to go through it. The principles. I just want to leave this image in your mind. This is the transect, urban to rural transect. This would be your main primary square intersection in your town, the most intense buildings, the highest in height intense, and as you work out through your town, the development pattern gets less and less intense. Picture dropping a pebble in a pond and you have that tight concentric circle, and as it goes out, it slowly gradiates out. You can see it here a little better. Transect, here is your downtown center, and your land pattern through your town, the development pattern slowly gradiates out. This is sustainable development. This is just another example of showing it. T6, T5, T4, T6 is the highest, most intense. T5 is a little less intense, T4 a little less. All this factors into a form-based code because you have to have a unified contextual pattern. You look at this and you say, what is this? It's a traditional New England town that everyone from all over the world looks at and say, oh, this is why we go to New England. What are you seeing as a development pattern? You are seeing what we just saw in that. This is T6. It's that great central tight core, always with the great, usually a white wooden Protestant church in the right center of it, and slowly the development pattern grades itself. But what you see here is a compact, walkable, tight grade core center, dense, but elegantly dense, and designed and traditionally dense, that then slowly gradiates out. That's how you preserve your land. And by the way, this is the most, for those folks who are very interested in financial matters, I know this is US, this is the most financially sustainable development pattern. Here's Ayer. There you see our downtown, and you see that pattern does exist traditionally, very tight core and gradiating out. Here we get a little closer in. You get a little closer in, and there you see our Main Street downtown, you see the building form, and there you see Park Street going out. But what you're seeing here is that nice tight fabric. We have been ripping it apart, which Robert and I now lovingly call the parking crater of lots. But you see that form is there, we had it, but it's been very much eroded. Here's Main Street before the Great Fire in 1872. I put this because it's about form-based codes, about the way buildings present themselves to streets. And you see here our New England ancestors, this shot says it all. They are presenting themselves, addressing them as the buildings are presenting to the street. They are doing this together to show both their buildings, their town, and themselves are presenting themselves in a way. You notice how they are in a form together. These buildings are in a form. They're to a build-to line. They are between 2 and 3 stories. The window proportionality is between 70 and 90% here, 40, 60% here, and you see different frontage types. But isn't it interesting that that is a unified composition, and they were doing this 100 years before there was any such thing as zoning, or planning boards, or regulations. They knew traditionally how to do this. Same thing with traditional New England residential neighborhoods. This is Hudson, Mass., but I can show you postcards exactly like this on our East Main Street. And you notice there is a composition to this. The buildings are on a build-to line. They're set back. It's all form. Interesting, these places were all created and laid out before there were any regulations that people tell them to do so. They knew instinctually this is the most sustainable and sort of form that creates tight community cohesion. I'm going to go past this, frontage types. Here again, so you see why Park Street is the way it is today. Here you see again our Main Street, and you see that building form and line together. Folks, the thing with Park Street is Park Street was never even an urban street when it was a railroad yard. And that's why we look at it today. So it's sort of like someone saying, I want you to be this thing. And but you have to say, I don't know how to be this thing. I was never this thing. How do I become? And that's why we look at Park Street. There's not even a historic tradition for it to being a traditional form street. By the way, it was the Board of Selectmen in 1917 that laid out Park Street as a road, as a formal road, and cleaned all that up. But this is what we're dealing with. You're dealing with a deep, deep legacy and tradition of a street that was formless. Does this feel right? So here we have buildings on the frontage line sidewalk. Here you see what I believe is a father and his son. And you see here they are interfacing with these buildings and streets on that sidewalk. You see cars parked on the street. You see buildings, again, 2 and 3 stories. And you see the form of that street. These people are able now to interface with this. The father and son could not certainly do this on our Park Street. It's very limited. Economically, socially, culturally. And we're prepared to deliver a form. I'm going to go past that. I'm going to go past all that. But what it's getting is, all these things I'm talking about are actually woven into a lot of our current zoning, but it's not presented and formatted to effectuate it. If you're a developer and you come in and say, I want to do something on Park Street there. I hear you guys, want to get something going out there. Here's what you sort of look at then in our downtown regulations. Say, well, okay, I see, there's a minimum lot area, none. Minimum frontage, none. I can go a maximum height of 40 feet or 3 stories. Building coverage stuff. This is pretty much what we offer to the development community to guide them on what we want to see there. So this is where most developers look and say, I really don't know. You say you want to see this thing, but there's nothing guiding this, so we'll just do whatever I guess we're going to do. Here is the actual dimensional requirements table in our zoning ordinance, and here's your downtown business zone. Minimum lot frontage, none, and that's okay. Minimum setbacks, we say none. That means there's lots of flexibility, fine. But that means I can't pull my building back on Park Street still. 40 feet, put a big parking lot in front of it. They let me do that. Well, maybe they want me to build traditional on it. What do you want, Town of Ayer? We're not really helping the development community to make their decision on what game they're in. So that's just that's the extent of what anyone can look at to figure out what do you want us to do on Park Street. How am I doing, Carly? You got 5 minutes, Alan.
You got 5 minutes, Alan.
So there we are again.
No pressure.
So here we go now. I do. Building frontage. Would you like to see this type of form delivered on your Park Street? What are we looking at? We're looking at buildings together, fairly narrow, built up to the sidewalk line, window proportionality, no 1 stories. You want a minimum 2-story and a maximum of maybe 3 stories. It's a form. It's a pattern. This is Milford, New Hampshire, by the way. It's a very similar scale to Ayer. And you see different frontage types there, but you see the pattern. Window proportionality, 70 to 90, upper stories 40 to 60, at least 2-story buildings up to the line. Buildings, start seeing buildings as containers and definers of great public space. They're not just individual objects isolated doing nothing. They function together to create place. And that's what you see here happening in Milford. By the way, we had place thing too. Here's Main Street, right, in downtown here. That was our, you've seen that picture? Yeah. And you see, even when we were doing this great traditional stuff, we never really did that good in here. We never did high quality public space, and that's what we're trying to get at. The financials. Let's talk dollars for a second. The 5 buildings right here on Main Street, right after our building, the bank building, what's going to be the Osawa, and the ones after. Those properties take up a total of 0.78 acres, about 3/4 of an acre of land. They deliver for our town right now in excess of $4 million of value. Why? Because of their form, their physical form. Park Street, these 5 properties, actually a little bit more land in acreage, only deliver $1 million of value for our town. Even the Dunkin' Donuts, which is 1.1 acres, a little bit more than that, a little better than $1 million of value. The development, the traditional development pattern is what pays the bills in our town, pays our school system, our teachers, our funds. This makes money for our town. This costs our town money in the long run, that development pattern. These 5 buildings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over $4 million worth of value on not even an acre of land. Show me somewhere else in Ayer where you have not even an acre of land and the value, you have a $4 million building. This gets to this, I'm not going to get into that, that's going to get too wonky. All goes back to the trends. Now, quickly, just some images. There's your form. And by the way, I purposely, this is Amesbury, Mass. You notice there were no people in these pictures. I did this purposely. I went there on an early Sunday morning because I want you to look at the pure form and not be distracted by people or anything. Think of the, we had sidewalks like that, you know. But look at think of just the form and pattern. And what, again, you're seeing here, up to the sidewalk line, 70-90% window proportionality, 40-60, 2 stories. If you say, Alan, we like this. We'd like to see that development pattern. It's as simple as this. Measure this. You measure, what is the height from there to there? What is you measure everything, you code it, but with flexibility. And that is what is delivered then through new development. You simply code the form you want to see delivered. Buildings serving as defined as containers of great public space. All of this can be delivered on Park Street if you want through a form-based code. And these are the places we all say, yeah. I was very impressed with West Concord, by the way.
Oh, I drive by there every morning.
About something
Nice
that's
to commute through there.
really, you know, and they got this, there's no reason I doubt this, and again, guys, you can code this for Park Street. By the way, the
You
other
have an
important
awkward
thing,
spot though when you're trying to cross the train tracks.
yes.
You got the road coming here, and you're trying to go over here, and everybody's over here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to make one very important point. On-street parking is in every one of these images where these places work. The one thing Park Street does not have is on-street. If you don't have on-street parking, you can't do this form. It will not work. Because if you don't have on-street parking, everyone in their property, Alan, I got to get the lot next to me and put a big surface parking lot, which is, by the way, how we've destroyed our downtown.
Doesn't that, I mean, that.
The road has enough
issues.
width, you know, measure it, you have enough width on Park Street, believe it or not, to lay a sidewalk on the east side and on-street parking. What most of the folks, I hate to say, on Park Street have thought is their park in front of them, isn't. If you look at the telephone poles, the utility poles on Park Street, go 5 or 10 feet in from, that's where the line is. So we need to frankly take it, and we're going to lay out on-street parking on that road. Just an example, new infill. And this is a per form-based code. You saw that this is brand new infill, and they simply went with the form and pattern. You see it there again, 2 stories, 70-90%, building addresses, boom, there's your new infill, and that's how it works. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. It's not that this is beautiful or ugly, or right or wrong, or good or bad. It just functions differently to serve a certain lifestyle. And that's what we've kind of been doing out here. Now, I'm not saying this is good or bad, or right or wrong, or whatever. In your opinion, there are people say, I think that's really great. I like that, because I can move it. We just have to decide what development pattern is going to serve the interests of our community deliver the most, revenue, deliver the most social cohesion and economic opportunity. This is Lawrence. And I just want to see you have an example of, here's a good old traditional form, and there you see plazas being ripped open. It could go one way or the other. You think this place would do better if it went with this on this side of the street, or if this side of the street went with this? And this is a decision Park Street has to make.
Mark, I mean, I know you kind of came up with and this is different West Main Street, but you would propose something a while back about buildings closer to the road, parking in the back, kind of West Main Street, right? Similar?
Yeah, we're talking, that's right.
Well,
More parking,
and
more buildings.
specifically like on this site here, on Park Street.
Yep.
With, trying to integrate some shops with the access to the new parking garage and things like that. So, and we have to do some intersection improvements.
Well, that obviously things gonna have to go hand in hand.
I do this quickly now. Here we go. We do a quick walk from place to space and back to place. So here we are on Main Street. Now, I'm not going to say anything. Here's a walk, but tell me how you feel as we're doing this walk. This feels right. It feels like a place in comfort. I can do a lot of things here. So here we go. It all feels like, I'm in a place. It feels right for me.
Beautiful building.
Oh, what's that place? That was a little shady right there.
It'll look nicer when you, a new paint scheme. Anyway, but right, it's feeling right now. All right, well, something, okay. All right, still feeling, I'm in a place. It's,
By the way, nice job, Charlie, shoring that up.
Yep.
Now we're getting down here, it's like, all right, well, we're starting to see, as Robert Pompeo has often said, is a beautiful person with maybe a front tooth missing, and it kind of ruins the whole thing. Now we're getting here, and we start feeling like, all right, something's changing now. By the way, this is all the same zoning, this is all the same use. Is it about use, or is it about form?
It's a shame that was turned into a parking lot.
Thank you. By the way, it's completely illegal, in violation of all our zoning.
Well, we should look into that.
So here we go, continue. Nick's building is still the right traditional form, but now something's changing.
I miss the diner.
How do you feel right now, looking at this from where we started? You just feel like it's really limited now what I could do here, and the other one I feel like this,
That's what I feel like. Until you get the Thompson building.
And now we're heading back. Now we're back up on Main Street. It's still, the fabric is still unraveled open. Now, it seems like, well, where are we now? We're arriving back to place, form. All right? We need to move from the regulation of place, we need to consider regular place rather than the regulation of use. Move from a framework of use to a built form and place. Start seeing buildings as containers and definers of great space. Buildings, every one of these buildings functions together. And by the way, when you have those nice buildings out with big windows on the street becomes very safe. This is not place. This is space. There's nothing wrong with space, but it sure is, hell ain't place. That's a place. Mark, does this look familiar to you? Sure, it's your hometown.
I was going to say, that's red.
He's here all the time. You don't
Now
get
again, there's nothing right, wrong, good or bad. This serves an important function, and so does this. What is Park Street going to be? This with this.
that.
I can write a form-based code and deliver that for you if you like.
What can you do?
All right, can we, do you have any more, Alan? I just have.
You sure as heck can't do that on Park Street, and we'd like to start seeing these types of things happening on Park Street as well.
Well, to be fair, you can't do that on Main Street unless you close it down, but it is a nice event.
No, we dodged the cars. It was.
And a final thing, the brutality of this form.
Part of the fun.
You see a mother with a young child. I live for things like this when I'm out there. I said, thank you, God, for delivering this moment to me. And there she is, just simply trying to get to where she's doing. And she has to go around this, into, by the way, where all the cars are going to the gas pumps. It's the brutality of this form. This was, and again, I'll rip through this. There's your old Park Street thing. And I'll just show you one last. This. Actually, you know what? This will be the part 2. I'd like to come back and do the technical presentation on the code. And the whole approach is different, but I just do this quickly, measure, that's your mantra. Vision the place, measure the place, code the place. And I just show you quickly what a form-based code would look like visually. That's a zoning map. We don't do zoning maps and form-based codes. We do a regulating plan. Site-specific plan for that street. It's a code written for Park Street and nowhere else. Zoning things are like everyone just copies them, we share them, it's an abstraction. We
far
do a
down Park
regulating.
Street?
This is the regulating plan I did for the city of Auburn when we delivered the form-based code for downtown Auburn before I came here and started my service. We did a huge form-based code in downtown Auburn. Got to find your T6s where your thing is and you start your gradient. You do your illustrative rendering. Show me the place. We hired us. Show me what you want it to look like. Then you do your regulating plan. These are all different types of regulating plans. I do my own kind. This is what a form-based code would look like. It's very diagrammatic and visual. A real departure from what our thing looks like now. But all of that, the specifics are put into literally 3 or 4 pages. That's my Auburn illustrative rendering. You describe the place so developers can look at it and say, all right, I see the place you're trying to create. This is the code. That's the code. That is a beautiful diagrammatic code that lays all that out. And zoning thing, that would be like 40 pages of text and legal narrative. It's like make it simple and diagrammatic and easy. And the other thing, I just show this. If you do a form-based code right, and it's because it's prescriptive. Form-based codes are prescriptive. Use-based zoning is proscriptive. Use-based tells you, I'm going to tell you what thou shalt not do. And then you kind of figure it out and we'll do it. Form-based code's prescriptive. It's laid out prescriptively, and if it's done, so let's say I have a developer come and said, Mr. Munn, I see you on Park Street, yeah. You want buildings between 2 and 3 stories, yeah? I want to do a 3-story building, great. You want that window proportionality, 79%? Yep, I want to do that. Everything in the code, I want to do exactly what you said. If you do that, we actually will set up an administrative or expedited review team. This, Mr. Chairman, gets your issues of what are you doing to incentivize Park Street and development? So if you go by every one of the, you say, I'm going to go by every part of that code, we set up an expedited review team, which would be our Superintendent of Public Works, myself, code enforcement officer, zoning officer. It's an internal thing. It's an internal staff review and approval. If you're going by everything in that code because it's prescriptive, boom, we get you through in 14 days. You're done. Now, if I have that as an economic development to go out and project out to the development community and world, now I get some things rolling. If, though, the developer says, I want to do most of it, but there's one part, no, I don't want to do it. I want to do a little something different. Then you go into track 2, and then you will be going before the planning board as a special permit. So there's a whole administrative function that done right, it delivers a very powerful incentive for developers. Bottom line, could this become a high-quality, high-value, vibrant downtown street?
Yes.
Vision the place, measure the place, code the place, and we deliver it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Charlie, is that, I mean, it's doable? I mean, obviously.
Well, if we own, it's a great idea.
Mhm.
We don't own the land, we don't know
Yeah.
if we're ever gonna own it. It wouldn't,
But I mean, changing the code, we could, I mean, the building
oh, yeah.
perspectives we
We
could
already
do.
regulate all this
Yeah.
stuff. It's a
Mhm.
No, that's fine to do it like that,
Yeah.
especially that corridor and the West Main corridor would be perfect to have sidewalks down too.
Mhm.
That would probably be the start of it, and then we just have to wait until the properties turn over.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good
If
point,
they-
Mr. Chairman. The code would only be subject to new construction that would be subject to that code. And I just say this, now picture yourself as a developer. If I come in and I look at Park Street right now, I say, all right, I want to do something with that property, right? I want to buy that and I want to put up a beautiful 2 or 3 traditional New England building like you say. I go in there and I say, now, I will risk my capital. I'm taking a huge risk doing this on this corridor because I want to follow your vision. How do I know the person that owns this lot on this side of me, though, or this lot, they might just do, again, a junk, auto strip corridor. I just lost everything because, but you're telling me, Mr. Minoyan, that as new development happens here, it's all going to be consistent with that code? Yes, I'm in. Because I know you have mitigated my risk, the risk of my capital, because I know it might take 2 years, it might take 5 years. But as this core develops, it's all going to be on that pattern that's been set out. This is, again, Mr. Chairman, the incentive for development because you have mitigated the risk of their capital.
I guess my thinking is multi-use, first floor, commercial, second floor, apartments or condos or something like that.
That's the concentrated economic impact.
Mhm.
And the more we have residential
Go ahead, Ken.
Go in the upper levels, the place like the new craft brew bar place, this one, everyone's in the place is just super vibrant.
Sometimes you gotta interrupt them, so that's all right, Ken. Go ahead.
So we have the specialist in engineering sitting right in front of us here, Dan. But one of the questions that I had for Alan a while ago, and I was interested in, was, it's pretty obvious from the photograph, is that on the town of Ayer down Main Street, the utilities go underground, starting outside the railroad bridge.
And they pop up right at the corner of the fire station. Yeah.
Is there a way for the town to get involved at this stage, just talking about it, to approach a utility company and draw up at least a sidewalk on that side and underground utilities to get signed at the start?
Yeah. No, it's funny you said that because there's nothing that really when it goes above ground there, nothing really gets fed until you get to the gas station. Coming down Park. I mean, you have the one feed, but I mean, it's not like you're branching off. I mean, I think it's certainly, just looking at that, doable to
And that's
put that.
the opportunity, if we say we will be, building a sidewalk, but that's the opportunity to go underground.
Obviously, that makes it more aesthetically pleasing and offers more room. Yeah, because it pumps back up at the firehouse.
It's very expensive. We looked into it on East Main Street, and I think it would more than double the cost of the project that we were doing.
Wouldn't this be more like, I mean, wouldn't this be a little easier because you don't really have that?
It probably is
You're
easier
not tying into
because
people's
you
houses
don't have as many houses. Because one of the other issues is if you go underground, then every service to every building has to be upgraded. Or
everybody's house, you have to tie in new panels.
So on East Main Street, we would probably about 2/3 of those houses we would have had to go and
rewire the panels.
Upgrade the panels in the basement. But you can see that's obviously one of the biggest problems there is the first thing you see is the power lines.
I guess my point was a lot of that feeds down past the buildings. And a lot of that is, and then, to feed farther down the road, so.
And then the second thing you see is the 100-foot curb cut. So, if someone's looking to how do we develop that, then, you have to entice them with some sort of a streetscape plan. And then the third problem there is that's a relatively short line of traffic that you see at Park Street trying to make the corner. So again, it's not visually attractive to people who want to pull over because they're like, oh gee, I'll never get out of here now. So there's a whole bunch of different infrastructure things that you have to do to make it into an attractive development. It's all doable, and it's just a matter of prioritizing what we want to do, where we want to do it, and how much it's going to cost.
Mr. Chair? How far up Park Street are you anticipating to do the code?
Yes, we'd only be up to our Groton Street, right at the Napa.
Just down the
because that is a local road. From that point on, it starts as a state highway. And again, that's where we could do the sidewalk and all because it's a local road. Right there.
How does this code vision fit with the pharmacy that's supposed to be going in?
Thank you for that question. We've been working, and again, I've been working with Ms. Ezio for over 4 months on that for quite some time. And one of the first things I said when she started looking at that, I said, I want you to understand, there's a strong probability that we are going to lay this, and I articulated that vision. It made her want to buy all the more. So what we're going to do is, I said, you have to understand, lay out your plan, and we'll be working, Tom and Mark Archibald, we met with her. She understands. Down the road, it might be 2 years, it might be 5 years. We're going to have a sidewalk here and on-street parking. So she said, I'll design my parking lot, so it's not this massive open curb cut. So we're going to have, which is also proper entranceway, egressway. She wants to do a nice fencing treatment to frame the street, landscape it, and start. She said, I'd like to start showing that for them.
What's their ETA on breaking ground for the building?
They've been doing a lot, if you go by now, they're doing a lot of interior rehab work on it right now. They have been. I think I talked to Mark Archibald, she has to come before the planning board for site plan review. She should be doing that, frankly, by the end of May, I would think.
Okay.
Is the house next door still?
Yes, my understanding is they have acquired that Navajo's property to demolish it, and it would be the parking lot.
So basically, she's doing what we don't want, though, right? Putting the parking lot.
But with the understanding, so, Mr. Chairman, here's the trick. If we do this code and deliver all this we do, that parking lot will be too valuable to use as a parking lot 10 years from now or less. The land's going to be there's going to be too much value in it. And again, when we have our on-street parking, all that will get. So she completely understands.
The only problem you might run into in this area is the depth of those lots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is maybe 50 feet at the most. And if you're pumping in a 30, 36-foot building, and depending on where the sidewalk and the town's property ends up, you know, you might not be able to get a building in there and have any parking out back. So if you're gonna put residential over commercial, there's gonna be no parking.
Well, that's right, the on-street parking is critical, and then, right, we have to, as much as we can, but they,
No, I mean, West Main Quarter, you have a lot more depth of
Yeah.
lots, and you'd be able
Yeah.
to
You
accomplish
build up
that.
front.
And that is-
This
yeah.
one little area, I don't believe you have the depth of the lots in order to make it like the downtown area. That's the difference in downtown.
Yeah, you
These
can-
lots are deep, you have parking behind it, where those you're limited by the community parking.
Well, you've got the lot 0 on the left side
Yeah.
there, which is the municipal parking lot, that could very easily be turned into 2-hour parking.
it's going to
Yeah,
be.
but if you're talking residential over, they're gonna need somewhere to park,
Well,
especially in
you've
the
got,
winter months.
you've got a big 200-car parking garage in the back. That's one of the things that we've been trying to get Mark to do, is have a connection from the new parking lot down to Park Street.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care, I'm just bringing it up.
No, it's a good
I'll just
point.
make this
Those
one last
lots are-
observation about that. Downtown Ayer is all of 4 blocks. You can walk right here from the front door of this building, right over to the front door of that building, in 3 minutes. I do what I've timed it. Ayer doesn't have a parking problem, we do have a parking problem, but we more so have a walking problem. The place is not, when the place is designed and all fitted up and designed for people, no one will have a problem saying, well, no, I just park right over, I just walk right down, it's a 2-minute walk to what I'm doing. By the way, you want that. The reason we don't have retail in this downtown, it's very risky to do retail, we have very few people on our sidewalks. The reason we have very few people on our sidewalks is because we have no big public parking areas. Everyone has their own little parking areas next to their buildings. So no one has to walk on the sidewalk down the river. When you have people walking the sidewalk, retail dies. We want people walking on our sidewalks, not, I park right next door and go and I fall in the building. You don't want that in downtown. When people park, someone say, well, let's go walk, and I enjoy it. That's why I came downtown, because it's walkable and building. That's where we have to go with all this. We want more people walking past our storefronts in downtown area.
There's also a building that's got contaminated oil tanks. I mean, it's a process, but I mean, to get the dialogue going is good. I mean, to at least show that, and we had mentioned, just to bring up to speed, how we had talked about whether it be tax incentives or waiving fees and to get people to come in and try to develop that property.
Say, the form-based code itself to do it, because I was a consultant, I did, so you can't, no firm will touch a form-based code now for less than $60,000 to $70,000 to do one in the area. So that's just a benefit that we're doing this all in-house. We will be hiring no consulting firms, we're the consultants.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this meeting is the place to talk about it, but I'm certainly needs to, at least people need to meet and talk, and I'm sure it already has, but
And by
trying
the
to
way, the
push this
code
forward.
will be written by the people of Ayer. Open, public shred, it will not be some little group meeting, it's a big open, and that's the only way it has legal, it'll withstand legal challenge. You have, because it's prescriptive, it has to be shown that this was a completely broad, the people did this, or someone will say, who decided this is what's going to be, prescriptively? The response has to be, the people as a whole wrote this code. It's their code. They wrote it. So that's going to be the joy of this.
All right. Well, you got more than 15 minutes.
You did.
But it was good. It was informative, and I'd like to, talk about it in the future and maybe get this. We got to get something done down there, along with West Main Street. And I think now with the way Ayer's economy is in the housing market, it's now the time to do it. All right. Thank you, Alan.
Well done.
Yep. More to come on that. Mark, Dan.
Sorry, Mark.
Mark can do it in 6 minutes.
Mark cannot do it in 6 minutes.
Hey guys.
He's an engineer, he cannot do it.
I'll try to be quick. Yes, so the first item we have is the Myrick Street Drainage Improvements Contract. And so this was a drainage project that we designed in-house, the DPW, and we opened the bids on April 18th. The low bidder was Ponch Excavation LLC at $59,445. And I've reached out to his references, and he has good references. We haven't worked with him before, but I'm confident he'll be good for the job. He's out of Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But so the project is up on Myrick Street. It's at the intersection of Willard is mostly where the work is, and all the way down to Grosvenor. Even though it's called Myrick Street Drainage Improvements, it's not the whole street. But we have some issues up there that we want to take care of. Kind of take a step back. But
We've got a lot of issues up there, so we
the Devon's
a lot of
Crest
issues, a little
neighborhood.
bit of money. So
Is this catch basins and stuff like that?
catch basins and pipes.
Yeah. So the contract being over 50,000 needs to be signed by the board. So if you guys would like to vote to sign, that's what I'm requesting.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Really? For Myrick Street drainage improvements with Ponch Excavation LLC for the amount of $59,445.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You want to just do it, get it after, Carly?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, add it to our pile.
All right. Okay, item number 2, GAP funding grant award. Back in January, I submitted for the GAP 2 funding grant, which is basically an energy grant that the Commonwealth offers. And it was for a project which we had lined up with some previous audits that were done at our buildings, and it was for the Central Ave pump station. And so we can make some energy changes there, change some VFDs out, get some new ones, and change the way our process works in order to have a better optimized system. And the Commonwealth awarded us the grant for the project, and it's $46,785 from the Baker Polito administration. So we just wanted to make you guys aware that we're out seeking these grants, and we received this one, and it's going to be a big help to our energy use and cost savings there with our wastewater pump stations. So, yeah.
Well, we've done a number of different either Green Community or GAP grants. I think one was called a Meta grant. And that was sort of the phase 1 of this. So what happens now is, so we have 2 big pumping stations in town. We have the Central Ave and the main pump station. And what ends up happening is so all the flow comes into Central Ave. That comes on at 1,000 gallons a minute, and in about 5 minutes hits Main Street, and all of a sudden the main pumping station comes on and pumps 1,000 gallons a minute. So what we were trying to do was balance it out, and so that we're not having these big slugs of flow that take a lot of energy, and they kind of optimize and pump it at their optimum pumping rates. And so so we did a study. We had a grant to do a study on how to do that, and then this is an implementation of one of those recommendations.
Which should make a big difference.
That's great. We don't have to vote, obviously, on that, but just, no, that's great. Good job. Good work. We like grants.
All right, Mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And speaking of grants, I submitted yesterday for Complete Streets grants for $400,000, so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that.
Anything you want to share? Like just a tease?
The top priority project is to put a new sidewalk on School Street from East Main Street all the way down to Bly Street and Brony Park. Anybody's been down there, we have a little bit of sidewalk on the first stretch, and then a little bit more across the parking lot for the courthouse, and then it's every man for themselves out in the street.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And then the second phase is on our Chapter 90. We're going to be paving the section of Washington Street from Nashua Street down to Highland Ave, where we've replaced all the infrastructure there. So I requested grant funding for the sidewalks on that road. So makes our money go a little bit further. But we have a complete streets prioritization plan that we.
This is the first one you've done to complete that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. It's a good program, too.
Okay, now for the fun stuff. I'll drive, sure. So, as you've heard a number of times, we have some contamination in our Grove Pond water plant. We suspect that the contamination is from firefighting foam. That tends to be where they've discovered most of the contamination, is where there's some sort of firefighting academy or training or airport. And so that's not an actual picture of Devon's, but it could be. So a little bit of background. So the Grove Pond well field, we have 2 well fields in town. Grove Pond well field provides 60% of the town's water. Due to the proximity to Devon's, in 2016, they discovered these unregulated contaminants, PFOA and PFAS, in one of the wells at Devon's. So they checked our wells and found that it was contaminated. They have the EPA has a health advisory that's not a maximum contaminant level. If it's a maximum contaminant level, then you wouldn't be able to use the well. The health advisory is just sort of it's probably not a good idea to drink the water. And they set that at 70 parts per trillion. And you ask what a part per trillion is. It's 1 inch in 16 million miles, which is 600 times around the Earth. 1 second in 320 centuries. 1 flea on 360 million elephants. Now, one of my professors said you have to be careful using those types of things because you're not really sure how big that elephant is.
I'm going to take my chances with the water.
And then
So it would be 358 million elephants?
And 1 grain of sugar in an Olympic-sized pool, and there's a picture of $1 trillion. I think that was going to
That's what
the
$1 trillion
Pentagon.
looks
They
like.
should have the Pentagon down back there, but anyway. So that puts it in perspective. That once we start testing to things for parts per trillion, we're not really sure what we're going to find, but they did find this. So they're fluorinated organic chemicals. The most produced. The PFOA and the PFOS are the most produced and the most studied, so there's more data on them. But there's what they call we call it the PFAS, the perfluoroalkyl substances. There's a number of those, and there's 6 long chain and a number of short chain. And I won't get into the chains and the chemistry, but it's how many of the little atoms are stuck together. So the one with a lot of atoms stuck together are the long chain, and that's important. They're used to make carpets, clothing, fabric, furniture, paper packaging. They were discontinued in use in 2015, but they are still around in some products because they haven't been discontinued in other countries. So if you import some box of pizza, you might have some PFAS in it. Used for firefighting in airfields and also in some industrial processes. And the sensitive population for people that shouldn't be drinking the water with a contamination on a short-term basis are the pregnant and nursing women and infants.
Is that one point? Is that sorry to interrupt? Is that don't drink it for 1 parts per trillion, or just obviously
It's
don't drink it?
they use the 70 parts per trillion as the health advisory level. So it's over that, and from what I gather, and I'm not a medical scientist looking at health impacts, but from what I gather, if you had 70 parts per trillion in your water, that could be as much as 20% of your exposure. So the other environmental exposures could be 80%. And I'll guarantee if we took blood samples of everybody in this room, we have it in our system.
Sure.
One of the issues is that it accumulates in infants much quicker, and it can cause some developmental effects. So just some of the health effects, they aren't really certain what they are. Generally, the 70 parts per trillion for other than the sensitive population is a long-term exposure, and long-term means drinking 2 liters of water a day for 70 years. So we're not sure if we've been having it in our water for 70 years, but probably not. But anyway, these are some of the potential health effects. And I think this is important when we're at town meeting to explain to the people that there's a lot of studies going on, and there are some health effects. It's not, you're not going to die if you drank the water before we shut the well off, but we're taking precautions. So where are we today? So the Mass DEP is developing their own water quality limit, and instead of having the PFOA and the PFOS can't exceed 70 parts per trillion, they're looking at 5 long chain PFAS chemicals. And in that case, what we were doing before was if we blended well 8 with our other wells, it was very low levels. But once you add up the 5, we're over the 70. So the DEP required us to stop using well 8. We issued a public notification on that to all the residents in end of March. But one thing I wanted to point out is that they haven't tested all of the public water systems in Massachusetts. So we're kind of on the leading edge, and they're being very cautious with what we do because they're not really sure how big the problem is. Generally, it's an unregulated contaminant, so communities that have a population of over 10,000 were required to test for it, but none of the communities. So, for instance, Groton hasn't tested for it. I don't think Littleton has. So there's a lot of communities where they haven't tested their wells, and so we're not really sure if it's a bigger problem. So what have we done? We stopped using well number 8. We issued our public notification. We completed a preliminary treatment study. To make up for the loss of well 8, we reactivated a well that we had put in emergency status, and we completed our spec pond well 2 replacement, which was under construction, but we had very good testing results from that, so that really helps make up for some of the lost capacity. Yes. We cleaned and redeveloped spec pond well number 1A, so we got a lot of the capacity back from that. The wells tend to plug up with iron. And not related to the PFAS, we've had some rusty, dirty water issues over the past few months. We've been getting a lot more complaints from places where we don't usually. What we discovered was that we were having problems with our filter media that was plugging, so we weren't getting good removals, and so we have been cleaning the filter media, and so we're back on track. But it's a long process.
Should be starting to clean up some of the brown
yeah,
water?
and the guys next week will start doing system-wide flushing also.
Okay,
So-
good, because my dishes look like crap.
Oh, you're getting it?
Oh, yeah.
Is that due to activating the old well?
No, it was one of those perfect storm things. It was a lot of different stuff. We had some changes in our chemical, in our chemistry of the raw water. We changed some of our chemical feeds as a result of the lead and copper rule, we had the media that we have didn't really like those new conditions, so we've changed how we treat the water and are cleaning the media. So we were not removing the iron and manganese to the level we should have, and now we're back to where we were. So if anybody knows where the Grove Pond well is, it's up Barnum Road, right next to the entrance to the old Fort Devens. So, gee, I wonder where that chemical contamination is coming from. So what's Devens doing? So the U.S. Army Corps went out and did a preliminary testing on all their existing monitoring wells, and based on those results, they are coming up with another plan for additional testing. They had a public meeting upstairs here in the Great Hall on April 12th and presented what they had found to date, and they realized they have a problem and they are responsible for it. we had a meeting last week where we went over what they were going to be testing for, where they were going to be putting in monitoring wells, and they're expecting to start that in July, and it'll probably be about a year before we get good results back. PACE, which is the citizens group in Ayer, and myself are working with the Army Corps to monitor the work and make sure that they're looking out for our interests. And this is just an overview of what's going on up there. Here's our wells up here, and you can see here's well 6, 7, and 8. And they tested these 3 wells and had found the contaminants in those wells. This was an area where they had disposed of some of their firefighting foam, but that kind of flows down here into the brook, but then that brook comes back around and goes into Grove Pond, so there could be some issues with that. And then we're not really sure. They didn't do any testing around this building. They've had some releases around here. So they're going to really focus in on this area here in the study. So what are we doing? So we're continuing the quarterly sampling of the Grove Pond wells. We're hopefully going to begin the design of a treatment system. We'll request the funding for the Grove Pond treatment plant, which is estimated at about $4.2 million, and begin the pilot testing to determine the optimum treatment. This is just a schematic of a typical type treatment. Hopefully, this is a granular activated carbon, and you can see there's 4 vessels. If we went with a different media, a manufactured resin media, you would probably end up with just 2 vessels, and they'd be a little bit smaller. So that's what we're hoping will be successful, because this is a pretty big capital investment. So we're doing, the next step is the bench scale testing. We need to take some of the well water, run it through some test filters, and determine which media is the best, or medias. So we're going to look at 2 different carbons. That's what GAC stands for. 2 different ion exchange resins, and then we'll do one with carbon followed by ion exchange. One of the issues is they each remove different chemicals, to some more efficiently than others, and then after a certain period of time you have to replace the media, and it's fairly expensive to replace the media. So for instance, if one of these filters breaks through with the chemical and you have to replace the media, and it's $25,000 in a year, that can add up pretty quickly. And also some of these resins you can regenerate on site. So we need to look at regeneration as well. This is the proposed schedule, and so it looks like if everything went smoothly, we would have a new treatment online by the end of 2019. So the funding, so we have Article 14 on the town meeting warrant is to appropriate money of $4,170,000 for funding the construction. That would include the engineering related to that. In addition, I've talked to the state drinking water revolving loan fund program, and they do have funding for emergency contamination like this. So we could apply for that. It's a low interest loan, so it's been running around 2%. Sometimes it's a little bit lower. Sometimes they have principal forgiveness. So it's on a big job like this, it's worth it. On a little job, it's generally not worth it. But one of the advantages to this is the short-term borrowing is free. So while you're building it and getting it online, before you've completed the project, they're giving you the money to do that without any cost. And if it looks like we're going to get funding from the Army based on the contamination at Devon's, then they would extend the short-term borrowing until we have a financial solution.
Have they mentioned when they're going to be writing us a check?
Mr. Chairman, when Mr. Wetzel and I were at the April 12th meeting before it started, I asked Mr. Simone if he brought his checkbook. And I explained that the Board of Selectmen and the town meeting after May 14th are going to be very interested in a check for $4.1 million.
Well, I think it should be more than that.
And as
been
you are aware,
engineered.
per this board, Mark and I have had conversations also with town council to ensure all of our legal options, and we made that clear at the meeting as well.
Are they being evasive, or are they?
They're not being evasive.
No, it's
but-
just, you know how the Army is, they have their
Well,
process and they go through the process and,
Painful process.
and they, you know, like the
I have
meeting,
no idea.
the meeting that I was at last week, they, what were they? They got hung up on some wording in there, whether they were going to include the safety plan as an appendix, or whether it's going
Sounds
to
like
be
the
in
old
each
Selectmen
individual work
Board of
plan,
Selectmen.
and they have all these names for it that I can't.
They can get all wrapped
you know,
up about an exhibit, an appendix, or an attachment.
and that was really didn't really matter. Didn't really affect what the outcome of the study was going to be.
Sure.
It was just that the EPA has a process that they have to follow, and they hadn't outlined that they were going to follow it because they wanted to do it quickly. So it was kind of like my head was hurting on that, and I was just like, geez, just start drilling wells. So anyway, I don't know if anyone has any questions on where we are with that, and then we can talk a little bit about the pilot study and where do we go from
Just
here.
a quick question I asked you the other day. Let's just say the PFAS dissipates naturally.
Yes.
Is this system beneficial for, like, if we put this in, and can it be used for other contaminants?
It can be used for other contaminants.
So it's beneficial regardless?
Right, and that's one of the things that we'll determine in the pilot scale testing is what does it remove and what does it remove well. One of the reasons why I tend to lean towards the resins is it's you can design that for specific contaminants.
Okay.
So you might have more of this contaminant than this contaminant, so you use this type of resin. But if this contaminant goes down and this one increases, then you can blend the resins,
I see.
or you can replace the resin with something
Yeah,
that's more
'cause I'm
efficient.
I guess
Once
my-
you have GAC, it removes a lot of stuff, but in some of the cases where they've put it in, they found that it's they've had breakthrough on the contaminants about twice as fast as what they thought, and then it's pretty expensive to replace.
I guess my point is that I think we all think alike, is if this is put in, and let's say the PFAS goes down, the DEP is bound to come up with something else they test
Right.
for in
Yeah.
a few years. And
I think both of these medias will
Okay.
take out a wide variety of,
all right, good.
contaminants.
All right. So in terms of the Army, it's just a matter of just continuing to
So we're just,
meet? and-
we're just, you know, we're in the loop, and they're not trying to hide anything. We're helping them out. Their geologist was in our office last week, and I gave her a lot of information, and so we have a good relationship with them. The EPA and DEP are both involved also, so there's a lot of people keeping an eye on things. And Pace, as the engineer, is also keeping an eye on things.
Okay.
So the next, one of the things I wanted to discuss was, so I have a proposal from CDM Smith, who did our treatability study, to do the pilot study.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
And it's not, we're not really positive that this is what we're gonna do, because the first thing we have to do is submit a pilot test proposal to the state, and they have to approve it. I think that this will get approved, but what I was hoping was that you would authorize to spend up to the first phase, the $30,000, which I do have in our water budget right now, and then we can begin the process of testing the water, designing the system, and then submit it to the DEP and see if the DEP wants to make any changes, and that then we could better define the second phase of the scope.
There's lots of CDM Smiths, I'm sorry. Go on. It was just authorized $30,000 out of your water budget to fund the
Yeah.
first phase with
Yeah.
CDM Smith.
And I do right now.
That's some promotion.
When I look at my budget, so I got a budget report through the end of April, and then I go through and project out what I know I have for expenses and what I think I'm going to have for expenses. And we do have a line item operating reserve fund of 30,000, which would have to be authorized to spend. But at this point, I may have. On my utilities, I may have some a little bit here and a little bit there. So I may have enough money that we don't have to use that, but as we get closer, then I can, if we need to use that 30,000 reserve, then I would come to the board for authorization. I think we have to go to the finance committee too for that.
Reserve fund transfer?
Yeah. So that would be 30, so right now 30,000 out of your operating budget to fund.
And we've already probably spent about 40,000 on this out of the budget that wasn't counted. So we've had to kind of.
You guys are keeping track of every hour and every penny and every.
Well, I don't keep track of all my time, but I keep track of any expenses with. It's primarily been engineering, consultants, and water quality testing.
We'll round your hours up when we end up soon. I'm sorry, did you have a hand up?
No.
Oh. I make a motion that to authorize the superintendent to utilize $30,000 out of his budget to fund the first phase of testing with CDM Smith. That work?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We get used to those motions again.
Anything else?
No.
Put my plug up there for drinking water week next week. So drink a lot of water.
PFAS and all. If you guys haven't been down, DPW office building's coming along. It looks great. So.
Oh, I did have one other thing. If you have 2 minutes, not on the agenda. If that's
sure. Go ahead.
So
I'm good.
As you know, we had a really successful Youth Works program last summer, and so I'm putting together the program for this summer. And one of the things that I wanted to have the kids do is do some tree planting around town. So if you guys can.
I see Alan out of the corner of my eye going, yeah.
Come up with, if you want to email me with some locations. I've talked to John Hillier from Central Ave Comfort Care, and he's all in favor of that. Yeah, there's a lot of places. Well, I'll tell you where I thought of it, because I was driving up there, going up Snake Hill Road, for instance. You know, you got a lot of new houses all set back, and yeah, it's just kind of there.
And this would be part of the tree warden's budget, or is that?
No, so we would fund it.
Budget too,
We would
right?
fund it out of the Youth Works budget.
Okay.
So,
Take Alan with you, because I think he has a few ideas.
No, I'm sure we.
His head was just
thinking
going.
of 1,000 places to.
There you go.
We have to work with. I haven't really put the budget together yet, so I've got to figure out how many I can buy. But I think we could get 20 trees in or something like that.
All right, that's great. All right. Good
Yeah,
work.
it was last year was a really good program, as your son probably told you.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
We have them doing a lot of different things, so we're not just going to
Robert
have
did
them.
it? Yeah. Good.
Not
They
just
working
going to have
hard?
them planting
He did.
trees, but
Yeah, good.
He started drinking coffee. Thank you.
That's what happens when you start at 6 in the morning.
Once you start, it's never going anywhere.
Yep. There's no going back. It was inevitable, Scott.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Mark.
guys. Good to see you.
I'll put these in your mailbox tomorrow morning.
Robert, you have 5 minutes.
Take whatever you need. We're here.
Mr. Chairman,
And uncomfortable.
Board, good evening. Depending on how you look at it, this will either be my last town administrator's report or my first town manager's report. I'm pleased to report that on April 27th, this past Friday, Governor Baker signed and enacted the special act as approved by town meeting on October 23rd of 2017. So I'm pleased to report that all 4 special acts that were passed by town meeting have gone through the legislature and have been signed by the governor and are in effect. And I just wanted to talk about that briefly, but before I do that, I wanted to publicly welcome Selectman Hood to the Board of Selectmen, and I look forward to working with Scott. We've worked well together over the last 8 years, and I know he brings a wealth of knowledge to the board, and specifically on financial matters, but all matters, and enjoyed working with him on the buy board. And like you mentioned, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to publicly thank Selectman Luca for his 12 years of service. He was the last of the original selectmen that hired me 8 years ago, so we thank him for his service.
I'm the longest serving selectman now.
Yeah. So
it's scary.
You are.
Very close second, yep.
But again,
who would have thought?
Congratulations, Scott, and welcome. I look forward to working with you.
No.
Just real quick, I want to also thank our town hall cleanup team. The townwide cleanup was this past weekend, and I want to thank Carly for the second year of putting together a town hall team. We had about 10 folks from the
great.
town hall, and I want to congratulate Laurie Sabol on another successful
Just to comment on
event.
that, the areas that were done,
Yeah.
it's amazing, the difference. And then you get to areas like Westford Road, part of it was done, and then it poured on Sunday.
Right.
So, I mean, you get to those areas that have litter, and it's like, it really stands out on you. So it's part of 2A was done, but then obviously you can't get to the entire thing in one day.
Right.
So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I know that.
I don't know if we can...
Alan focused on the town line coming in on 2A where Littleton is.
You could spend a week out there, though, Alan, right? I mean, if you... Yeah.
We need to visit our friends in Littleton, because it's a catastrophe on the Littleton side.
It's the same with Westford Road going into Groton. You get that stretch, and it's just... Yeah.
So I just wanted to thank the team, but also congratulate Miss Sabol and the whole crew that's been doing this for several years. Yeah. And lastly, just a final public reminder that the annual town meeting is on Monday, May 14th at 7 p.m. in the auditorium of the high school. All of the warrants have been mailed to the households. It's been posted throughout town as required, is on the website, and we encourage anybody that has any questions or concerns. I had a couple residents come in today with questions to please come to the Selectmen's office, and we'd be happy to explain anything or answer any questions. And that's part of why Superintendent did the presentation tonight. It's a major article, and I thought it would be good to get more information out there. And just to clarify, the article is authorization to borrow up to $4.1 million, and so it's not a raise and appropriate article.
Do you have some more information on what we're doing with the Army in terms of possible, like even just brief?
I could speak briefly to that if needed. Yeah.
Just that is a possibility that
Yep.
it might be 10 years from now. But
So the final thing is the reorganization. As I mentioned, the 4 acts are now in effect. They were written that upon signature they would go into effect. I will be issuing a formal memo for the board and for the town, and also in the form of a press release highlighting what those changes are, so everybody understands. So with respect to the town manager, just real quick, the authorization now for the town manager to appoint and or terminate non-department head positions in consultation with the respective department head, appoint and or terminate department head positions subject to the approval of the BOS. So all department head level still has to come, obviously, through the board, as it should. Be responsible for the town personnel system. As I mentioned, the current system is what we're using in place. We will be looking to improve upon that. I will be looking for the board's input on that, and I'll have more of that when we have more time very shortly to discuss. But the current system, as I mentioned at town meeting, is in place. Full jurisdiction over the rental and use of all town facilities. Approval of all Chapter 30B contracts. 30B contracts are all supplies and services generally for departments, so they'd take that off of the board in that sense, and any other contracts in accordance with specific statutory requirements, and that'll be part of my memo to the board and to all departments. Negotiate collective bargaining agreements and all other employee contracts subject to ratification of the Board of Selectmen, very similar to what we have done now. Sign accounts payable and payroll warrants, and I did sign the first one, accounts payable warrant for April 30th, number 18-20, in the amount of $1,018,058.66. As I said at town meeting, these warrant reports will become part of my town meeting report, so they will all be in there. I'm also going to ask, you're going to have to do it tonight, but the BOS to designate a selectman to still sign those warrants in my absence is one of the requirements. So,
Currently, it's,
yeah.
I think that you do a great job.
Oh, thanks.
But just on that,
It's all about me.
on the both warrants, the payroll and the accounts payable warrant, that they'll be in my reports moving forward, which will be in the packets for the public. And I have talked to the finance manager. I would like to implement in the year ahead, and we've talked about this, to get the accounts payable warrant to be online, meaning for the public to view, all several hundred pages of it. But there is a method to do that, and I'll be working with her on that. The payroll warrant poses some challenges, but we'll discuss. And then the authority to officially delegate to a qualified subordinate position. In this case, and I appreciate the board's support of my recommendation back the end of March, on July 1st, Ms. Antonellis will become the assistant town manager. She's been doing a lot of these things now, but this will make this official, and I look forward to continuing to work with her. So I will get you more detail on all of the specifics, including the article as it was passed. I'm open to any questions, and I'm speaking just to the town manager part as we move forward. In terms of the rest of the package, appointed town clerk, I'm in the process of concluding a personal service contract with Ms. Copeland that will be brought before you for consideration. My goal is I'd like to do that on May 15th.
We are going to meet the date that we are.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. As I mentioned, it's classified already per the non-union classification system, and the funding is in the budget. The appointed treasurer and tax collector, we're going to be advertising for the position. As I mentioned to the board, one of the frustrating things is we were advised by town council we could not start the advertising process until this was enacted. So the job description and the classification is in place. The funding is in the budget, and I'll be putting together a search process. And again, that search process will vet qualified candidates, and if there's one or two, it'd be great if there were three or what have you, we'll make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to consider and interview as well. So the question becomes, so the incumbent, since the incumbent will not be moving forward in this position, that being Ms. Copeland, for now she will remain obviously the treasurer and tax collector until her successor is hired by July 1st is the goal, to get somebody in place by July 1st. Upon her successor being in place, the plan is she would resign those two positions and the new person would start. There is a chance, as we know in anything, I'm hopeful we'll have somebody for July 1st. If we don't, we will come back with a contingency plan as to how we're going to bridge that. Mr. Johnston, the benefits and payroll manager, is also the assistant treasurer. He'll continue in that function under the reorg. Lastly, the tree warden is now appointed per the special act. The elected tree warden has become the appointed tree warden for the balance of his term and will report to the town manager. There's been no changes to the position or the duties at this time, and the funding is the same as in the FY19 budget, with a recommendation for a 2% COLA. And we'll discuss next steps on that as we move forward. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So again, I want to thank the selectmen, the finance committee, the departments, and specifically the town meeting for their support of these important reorganization measures. It's been a long time coming, and the whole intent is for it to maximize the efficiency of the municipal government. So I appreciate the support.
So selfishly, just all about me, how does it affect us? I mean, I know it takes some stuff.
So here's a quick
just an example.
So here's a quick example for tonight. When Lieutenant Gill came with the communications supervisor, the town manager would be able to do that with the police chief. Now, what you'll get in each of my reports, in addition to the warrant, I'm going to have a personnel action report. So, for example, the board and the public in the packet would see, the communications supervisor, because it's a non-union position.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's one. The other one would have been there was another one that was clear tonight. Oh yeah, so the Myrick Street drainage improvement contract could be done by the DPW superintendent and the town manager, as could the bench scale testing agreement, the $30,000. Again, to make it clear, all of those actions will be, so the town manager's report will have all of that in it. It has to, per the act. And all of these things are still subject, they have to have appropriation and also go through the warrant process as well. So that's sort of an example.
Maybe, wait a minute. And we'll be aware, obviously. Notify us of, like you usually do, with everything that's going on. And
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. You okay? That's the worst feeling, so take your time.
It's okay.
Scott, do you have a question in the meantime?
No, I'll let you.
Okay. So just to clarify, when you do your town manager report meetings, sorry.
Doesn't involve CPR.
Tell my husband I love him. You'll have this all in writing so that it would be in the packet so the people
Correct.
can also see.
Correct.
So that if they're not watching, they also see it in the packet?
Correct. So
Okay.
3 points. One, the town manager's report will be an official report. It's required. It's going to be in the packet. Under Mass General Law, it's subject to it's a public record. So it will be in the packet. If anybody wants it on request, he can provide it as well. So it'll be all spelt out.
All right.
So that was sort of my administrative report. And then if there aren't any questions, I have 4 brief action items. The first one is I'm requesting that the board authorize a 1-day beer and wine license for the Ayer Shirley Lions Club for an event on Thursday, May 3rd from 4 to 8:30 p.m. at Karen's Kitchen. And one of my other assistants has just come to the
I was
table.
going to ask.
That needs to be recognized by the chair.
Hi, Calvin. This is for the Lions Club?
Yes.
Where is this taking place?
Stan's Restaurant, 200 West Main Street.
It's now called
Karen's
Kitchen.
Yeah.
AKA.
Okay.
It's only for beer and wine?
Yes. I'm tip certified. I have an all alcohol license in town. I'll be running the bar.
Okay.
And all the proceeds go to research. So that's what we're doing for. And you guys are all welcomed.
All right.
Pay at the door.
What is the date of this? I just
This Thursday.
This
This
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Okay.
You got a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a 1-day beer and wine license for the Ayer Shirley Lions Club. Do I need more details on that?
Just the date? You want the date?
Sorry, for Thursday, May 3rd, 2018, from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Second. Not you, Calvin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Calvin.
Thank you, Calvin.
Have a good night.
I was wondering why you were hanging around so long.
He was napping.
Why don't you?
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see ya.
That's this Thursday. The next item is a Keno monitor request for Barnum Road Liquors at 1 Barnum Road. They've requested through the Massachusetts State Lottery a Keno monitor on the premise, and per state law, if the BOS has any objections to this monitor being placed, it needs to issue them within 21 days. Otherwise, we'd be asking just for a motion to authorize it. There are no issues from the administration with respect to the monitor, but as the licensing authority, this is a required procedure.
I don't have a problem with it, and I know you're gonna say, don't put it in the window.
We've been working together a long time. I
A
guess.
long time.
Just so people don't stand in the parking lot.
Right.
I've seen that, and it's just,
Okay.
I don't think it's caused any problems. I mean, it's annoying at Pauline's when you walk in and they're right there at the door, but I don't think it's caused any issues anywhere. Chief
Yeah.
has no issues with it, right?
No.
Because they do Keno there now, but they don't have a monitor. This is just adding.
Oh, so it's just a monitor. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not like they're
Yeah.
adding Keno.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
all right.
Right.
No.
Thank you, Carl.
Yeah.
correct.
We don't want
Clarify
it in
that.
the window.
Yeah.
Got it.
as long as it's
I
not
think the
in-
state lottery commission, it prohibits it from the window.
Okay.
Because we've seen some.
Yeah,
But
there
that's
was
why we
somewhere-
always
yeah, yeah,
stipulate,
it
we
was-
always
that's why I
stipulate
asked.
that.
I saw it as, and it may have been angled correctly, so
Yeah.
it was skirting the.
Last time we had one, we sent that correspondence, and they were like, we weren't allowed.
And
to
maybe,
be in the
but then you
window.
get the smokers who stand outside
Right.
of the door and stand on the monitor. Need to vote on that?
I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the Keno monitor to added to the existing Keno to go at the Barnum Road Liquors. Liquors is spelled wrong, by the way.
For the lottery revenue that we send to Harvard.
On which one?
Sorry.
Correct.
And to
That
add
would be correct.
Where is it spelled wrong?
Liqours.
On the state?
It's
It's on the state letter.
Liqours, isn't it? Yeah, so, no, it was in this letter.
You can put the Harvard stuff in there if you want to, but.
Yes.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then, Mr. Chair, if there is an objection, I'd ask Kevin Johnson to come to the table. The next item is the HSA qualified health plans, and I ask Kevin to give a brief overview. Obviously, want to answer any of your questions, and ultimately, what we're looking for tonight are two things. One, the board to consider to formally authorize to offer the plan, and then secondly, to authorize myself and Mr. Johnston to negotiate the terms of that. But why don't I start, Kevin, to give a brief overview of the plan.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? So for the first time in fiscal 19, the Minuteman-Neshoba Health Group voted to authorize and offer HSA qualified health plans, which are high deductible health plans, for its membership. The Insurance Advisory Committee has recommended that the plans be available to our employees this year. There is some interest amongst the staff, and the information about the HSA qualified plans was summarized in the memo that's in your packets, but I can briefly discuss and certainly answer any questions. First and foremost, the premiums are less for these plans, so it's a budget saver, and it's a savings for the employees as well. It's a little bit different model than we're used to seeing in municipalities in Massachusetts, but it definitely is the trend in healthcare. So the deductible would be met before other expenses are then free beyond meeting the deductible. It's a real consumer-driven health plan, meaning managing the deductible is up to the individual, the subscriber, and their family members. And an example I would give to you is if you injure your knee, you go to the doctor says you need an MRI, most of us would just take the order and walk down the hall and get the MRI. And at a hospital, that may cost $1,200. You could take the order, drive 10 minutes to a Shields MRI center, and get that same image for about $600 to $800, just using those as examples. So it's really a consumer-driven healthcare product, a little different than we're used to now because there's less out-of-pocket expense with deductibles and such. The other thing that I would like to note for you is that the preventive care and annual physical and such are exempt from the deductible, as are some preventive medications. So the Insurance Advisory Committee has recommended the plan be offered to our employees this year, beginning in June. We're seeking your authorization for that this evening, and with your approval, Robert and I would sit and negotiate the terms of the agreement with the Insurance Advisory Committee. Any questions I can answer for you?
So, to kind of clear up possible confusion here, so on this HSA, because you're saying that this is the first time they're offering a health savings account?
Yes.
So the health savings account being, I'm taking $50 out of my paycheck and I'm putting it into account so that after, the insurance has paid everything, then I'm taking out my little credit card of my HSA and say, okay, I now have $150 in here. They're saying I still owe $75 and I'm paying it on that card?
Good example, I think it's just the opposite. You would use the HSA first to pay all the expenses first. So if you had a doctor's appointment, unlike the deductible plans that we have in place, you wouldn't just pay the copay, you'd pay the full cost of the doctor's visit. And you would use your HSA card to pay that doctor's visit. Employees would have the ability to make payroll deductions, tax-deferred payroll deductions, tax-exempt payroll deductions into the health savings account. The employer has the opportunity, according to the framework of the structure, to contribute up to 50% of the deductible on behalf of the employees as well.
50%?
That's what makes the plan attractive.
No, I understand, yeah. And then once you reach that benchmark of deductible?
Correct.
Everything is...
Correct. The deductible is $2,000 for individuals, $4,000 for a family plan.
Okay. Right. Scott?
So is there any plan for an employer contribution with what's been presented?
That is what we would negotiate with the Insurance
Okay.
Advisory Committee.
And, Mr. Chair, through you, Selectman Hood, and whatever that negotiation, the outcome of that is, will have to come back to the Board of Selectmen for authorization.
So on this HSA, the
Yes.
employer, is putting in the money into this HSA, okay? And so now, for example, next year, health plans change. They have to change their insurance company and everything. It's what happens, in the real world. But so you're going to have that HSA and you're going to start a new HSA with your thing, but that still rolls over. That's their money. They can withdraw that, right?
That's correct. That is
Okay, I
their
wanna
money.
okay.
It's portable. It stays with them. So using me as an example, if I were to participate in a high deductible plan and didn't meet the deductible, the balance from this year would remain in my account, and I could invest it as sees fit. And as I work towards retirement, and I retire in 5, 6, 7 years, however long it is, and there's a balance in my HSA account, I take that with me when I retire, and I can use that for retirement healthcare expenses as well.
You can also just withdraw it and go to Mohegan.
I could. Not likely, but I could.
So to me, it
But-
sounds like it's backwards from what I do. So you're saying you're paying it up front. You're using your health savings account right away, but you have to put some money into it to be able to, when you go to the doctor to pay for it. So it just sounds backwards.
Well, the whole mechanism is it's tax exempt putting it in. So
Yes,
you're
it
making
is. That's
you're making
true.
it tax exempt, then you're using tax exempt money to pay your healthcare bills.
Right, but you have to get the money in there.
Correct.
To build it up before
Correct.
you can really start using it. So, so like I said, I have found it very beneficial. Once my insurance paid everything, and then you always have those little bills that all of a sudden that come in, and it's like 6 months from now, and you're like, seriously, have I not paid for that yet? And that health savings account, because it's been taken out of my payroll, I don't even see it, so I kind of forget about it. That thing has come in so handy when all of a sudden all those little bills are coming in, and you're like, I don't have it. Oh, thank goodness I have umpty some amount on this HSA. Yeah. And then when you do your taxes, then you say how much you spent and how much you put in and all that.
So then the employers can choose the level of deductible, so or is it the cutoff of what they put in? Or
The level of contribution to the deductible.
Yes.
Right.
So someone who's young and that might choose a higher deductible depending on how they think, or family might choose a lower deductible?
Well, there are a couple of different considerations to be given here. So I use the example of me on the retirement end of things, but someone who is married and has a family with 2 children, and they currently have a flexible spending account, and they maximize that benefit at $2,600 for this year, they would consider this plan as well, because if they would get to closer to their deductible for the family side, depending on the town's contribution level, they position themselves to have no expenses for the balance of the plan year. And at the same time, if they don't meet their deductible, they have more time to build that fund for future health expenses.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like a good way. So you guys are looking for a motion to proceed to negotiate?
Yeah, we're looking for, it could be a 2-part motion. One, to authorize, to offer it, and then secondly, to authorize myself and Mr. Johnson to negotiate the terms subject to approval by the Board of Selectmen.
Josh?
I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the offering of an HSA qualified health plan as outlined tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I would like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen authorize Robert and Kevin to negotiate this health savings account.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for explaining that, too.
We'll report back.
All right.
And then, members of the board, lastly, in your packet and on the agenda, a BOS policy discussion, and obviously, in the interest of time, it's at the board's discretion, but we wanted to get this discussion at least started on the issues of recreational marijuana. Ms. Antonellis has been sort of our point person on this, and per her memo, that she provided you, as well as with some recent information from the Cannabis Control Commission, we have limited the number of retail licenses to 1, but as you can see in the packet from the Cannabis Commission, there's all kinds of other establishments, co-ops, laboratories, all different types that are going to be allowed, and we as a town and the Board of Selectmen need to figure out how we're going to address this. And in most instances, probably all of them, it's going to have to be addressed by bylaw, which, I mean, before you know it, I hate to say it, May 14th isn't here yet, but before you know it, it'll be October.
Yeah.
So the purpose of tonight, and I know we're running way over, was to get this information to the board and to sort of, let's start that discussion and figure out how we want to proceed.
So right now, we know we have the medical. We've approved 1 retail. And somewhere 7 Point is still attempting to cultivate.
Correct. Cultivate only, right.
Okay, so we've, right, if they get approved, which that's been a long time.
It's been, got up to 2 years, right?
Yeah, because
And
I
there's been
had
other
originally.
people poking around, too.
Yeah, so we've kind of got the trifecta right at the moment. I must admit, when I was peeking through this, I got a little dizzy. I was like, oh my God. But I just wanted to kind of remind that, and especially for the benefit of Scott, in case you'd forgotten that there is 7 Point, and I think they'd come to us. I was chairman at the time. So that would have been 2015, 2016. So, and we thought they would have been ready by 2018.
Yeah,
so
they came in with a fast-talking attorney.
Yeah, so they still have not been approved by the DPH. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just the process.
Yeah, they have provisional approval, which fast tracks them to go recreational because they had their provisional approval before July 1st of 2017. So they're approved to sell in Gardner and Middleborough or Marlborough. I get wherever it is. It's an M town in Massachusetts. So they can cultivate. They have to cultivate in Ayer. It's not tied to that specific location. They could maybe rehab an old building, but Alan met with them. They have someone in Groton. That's the 7 Point
I met with attorney, he's one of the partners.
Right,
Silverstein,
exactly.
and
So they're just getting all their ducks in a row still.
they're
Oh.
prospecting for existing buildings.
Yeah, and they had applied
They're
in
not
Westford
doing
too,
construction.
and then they
So nothing's
withdrew.
going on, what were they gonna be on, was it Willows?
They were looking at Fitchburg Road for new
Yeah.
construction, but now they have
Everybody's
decided
looking at
not
Willow
to
Road.
do new construction in there. And they're looking at alternatives, that's an existing buildings in there, so this is, they're searching, right, they're
And that's
prospecting.
just to cultivate, because that's all we approved them for.
Correct.
And that's, yeah,
Okay.
and they're aware of that they're not
Okay,
gonna
but
try
no,
to sneak in
yeah,
and,
I kind of remind that,
yeah.
and also just to kind of get Scott up to speed a little
And
bit.
honestly, the reason for the discussion is I field probably at least 4 calls a week.
Yeah, I had someone
And-
approach me at the park last week, and I'm like, "Oh,
And for
please!"
some of
I
these new
schlepped him off the
functions,
Carly,
like labs
but
and so
Yeah,
forth.
like
Oh my
we
God,
want
I
to be
know, I was
delivery
looking at that.
service
Yeah.
and
it's
Yeah.
so I tell people,
it's kind of
as I've told the, former board, and I'll say it again, I mean, I tell people you are welcome to come in, but the position of the former board was, we're done, we're at our limit, and,
Right.
but now, it's constant, it's like every Monday morning,
yeah.
that's all I do is answer marijuana calls.
Maybe we should just, obviously, we made the one license. People don't seem to get it, because
the gentleman was talking to me. It was so annoying. I said, "Carly, no offense." But
Appreciate it.
yeah, I couldn't answer his questions, and when I'm watching a soccer game, I really don't want to talk to anybody about town issues. Maybe we just need to clarify that for you guys. Like, that's it. We're at this point until everything's started and going. We're not going to make any decisions on anything.
So we
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but we don't know what this is going to bring yet.
We reached out to Mark Rich just on that process,
Mhm.
like, could we just put a warrant article forth in the fall, like, we're gonna prohibit these types, the laboratories, the transportation, then you can have a craft co-op, as long as it's under this certain square footage requirement. So I'd hate to piecemeal it, but, if we could come to a general consensus to put it forth to town meeting as maybe one article with all the different.
Right.
And I don't want to speak for you guys, but I think we want to see what this brings before we. We know John's medical was fine, but
And as
would
you
that
know,
be if
the
there was
reason-
5 of them? Who knows?
The reason they're calling your office is they need 2 things. They want a letter of non-opposition, but as Carly put in her memo, all of these other types of entities require host
You
agreement.
remember the Russian mob we had from Colorado that came in?
So they don't need those.
I'm telling you, you laugh at that, but that was a shady bunch.
So they don't need
That was the whole Jim Fay,
They don't need
Chris Sumner argument.
Oh,
You were
yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah, that's all a blur.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where the power still lies with you guys, is they can't even apply without a host agreement.
Right.
So, but honestly, you'd have people in here like every meeting, which I
yeah.
don't think is a good use of anyone's time. So we're just looking for direction on what do we tell these people?
How about-
I'm comfortable saying what I've been saying.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to come, but here's the position
No,
of the
I
board.
don't.
Right.
I mean,
Regardless of whether there's inaction on our point over the next 6 months, nothing can go forward without a host agreement.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first step.
And I don't want to speak for you guys, but I don't feel like we're going to be handing out host agreements to anybody except for the people we had already talked to.
Right.
I don't think there's nobody that's going to change our mind in the next year. I don't think, at least not mine.
So I think in the interest of time, and there's a lot of material here, and don't have to make a definitive decision tonight, but maybe for the next meeting or so forth, what would be helpful is if the board took a position, so that, because what is happening is, as Carly, and occasionally I get them, and I give them to Carly, we tell them that they need
So I don't feel as guilty now.
We tell them they need a host agreement. We tell them everything Carly said, they need a host agreement. Well, I want to come under public input. I want to come to the Board of Selectmen. I want to call the
Or attack them at Pony Park.
Right, they're saying, well, it's our right to make the request. But I think as we move forward, it'd be helpful if we could say, look, on such and such a day, we
Right.
could figure it out. But I think we also need to look in detail what the town wants to do, and where there are town meeting considerations, the fall, we want to be in good shape for.
Well, could we do that now? I mean, do we have to think about that? Could we just say we're not going to entertain any host agreements regarding any type of marijuana establishment?
I mean, we have no problem telling them that, but I wanted
Yeah.
the board to decide that
I
directive.
don't want to speak for anybody, but I don't want to hear from anybody telling us how they're going to make the greatest facility ever. I want to see this operation up and running.
Are you looking for some direction so that we can put something codified for fall town meeting?
Or
is
just
this
just
a
in the
general
meantime?
policy
Yeah,
statement?
I think it's just a general
Okay.
policy statement. Our internal land use group that meets every week. It's Alan, myself, Charlie, the conservation, town planner. We meet for an hour every week, and we've just started on this, like, you know, hey, we gotta put something forth in the fall. But it's more like a procedural thing too with Mark Rich, like how do we actually lay it out? So we've had some conversation with him, but we're kind of wait till after town meeting to actually dig into it. But we want to get it on your radar screens.
Because I think you guys are going to be inundated once
We already
July
are.
1st. It's gonna You're going to have everybody who thinks they're going to make a buck off
A
this.
few of them have threatened to come under public input.
Bring them,
Fine, go
like,
ahead.
please, if they want to bypass your, you know, what you tell them.
Like to Robert's point, it'd be helpful that, hey, because I was comfortable saying it with Gary here, because I knew his position, I know everyone's position, but with Scott, I thought maybe we could reaffirm or just make our lives easier, honestly.
Well, I'm going to reaffirm my information of my previous position is the same.
I'm second that. That's fine, so.
I'll third it.
All
All right.
So what we'll do in terms of next steps, and we appreciate that guidance, on the larger issue, we'll begin to get some
Yeah.
materials for the board to begin to think about how we want to proceed it. 'Cause there is so much here, and the commission, as you still know, is still releasing stuff.
Oh, they've been so helpful.
It's been very slow.
Well,
Good question. What is the deadline when they're, like, the Cannabis Commission is supposed to be complete with all the regulations?
They're supposed to have the retail regs July 1st.
No, those are done.
this was
Those are
open
done.
July.
Yeah,
right?
the regs are done. They started taking applications, priority applications, meaning you are a medical facility, on April 2nd. And then, like, July 1st, it's legal. So they want to have they have 90 days from April 2nd, which would put you to July 1st, 2nd, whatever. And so they could technically sell. So that's why there was such a time crunch. But some of these other services, like social consumption venues, like a pot bar, for lack of a better term, they're not
No.
going to touch those till next year. Because they
So
just
this-
want to get basically the...
Excuse me.
I make a motion.
They can't smoke one
No.
cigarette in a bar.
Right.
They can't smoke
Right.
their joint anymore.
I agree.
So it's more the meat and the potatoes, the cultivation, processing, and retail that they're really focusing on. But more will roll out over time, but I just really wanted to feel like comfortable again saying they're not going to entertain any host agreements at this time.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
if they really want to give you lip, they can come and hear it in a very stern voice from all of us.
Could you remind us? Sorry. Could you remind us, so once this starts going and Massachusetts starts getting the revenue from all the sales and whatnot, and I'm not just talking about the town of Ayer, where is that revenue, what is the state of Massachusetts doing with that revenue? What pot? Is this going to be like the tobacco, where they put it into the tobacco pot to, stop people from smoking, and yet no money's being used?
I think that
Or
it's
sent to
going to
Harvard.
the general fund. It's just a general fund
Okay.
revenue. Yeah.
All right.
There was a question that came up at a finance committee seminar I went to back in the fall regarding state sales tax from marijuana, whether that would be distributed to the general fund in general, or if that would be specifically doled out to the towns that adopt recreational marijuana establishments. And at the time, it was still up in the air whether
I
that.
haven't seen anything about that.
Exactly.
But we do have an article on the annual town meeting warrant to establish a 3% local tax, which will be
Which is the
administered.
max we can ask for.
Yeah, and
And if that's not unanimous, then I just give up.
so basically be administered the same way as the sales tax local option, be it on the cherry sheet or whatever. So still many moving parts.
So, members of the board, thank you for for the time. That concludes my report. If there are any other questions, and also, I know this is like a very full agenda, so I appreciate your time.
Did you, the letter that we had sent out, I don't know if you saw the meeting, the three of us had voted in a month ago to notify the railroads that we're going to start fining them for debris and railroad ties. I think I know the answer to this, but did you contact, or is there a letter that you're going to be sending out to, or have, to Pan Am and Keolis or MBTA?
Yeah, so Mr. Chair, with respect to the Pan Am, Chief Pedrazi took on that.
Okay.
And per the board, notice has been given to them, and I'll send this to the board. The chief did
If you could, yeah.
an excellent job. It's all photographed and documented by GPS coordinates. And Ms. Scarano is aware of the urgency of this and has indicated to the fire chief that they're committed to cleaning up the rail corridor. So he's going to check with her at the end of the week as to what the plan is from this. So I'll send the report to the board on that.
Is there state fine? Like, do we have to establish fines for ties, or is there like a state? Is there anything we can go on, or was something we have to?
There are two things. It's $500 under. I'm going to get the chapter wrong, under the state
it might be the same
railroad
chapter
statute.
I sent you
And then
today.
the fire chief also, because if it poses a combustible hazard, that's also $500. So again, what we want to achieve is get this all cleaned up, because as we know, the railroads, $500 is like $5.
Yeah.
In addition to that, the second piece, which is just about completed, is the part for the Willow Road component and the platform. The rest of it is our friends at the MBTA in Keolis. So,
who can be worked on a
so
little
I am
more publicly.
confident with Chief Pedrazi
absolutely.
on Pan Am. I'm also confident in the end, it's going to maybe take a little pushing, our friends at the MBTA, because they said they will get this cleaned up.
No, and pushing with them is probably more effective than it is with Pan Am. Pan Am is more financial.
Yeah.
And I would assume conservation might have some interest too, with all the ones that are out my neck of woods that are tossed into the swamp.
They're required, so the notice has been given in both instances.
So they're on the clock, really.
Right, they're required to submit, and the chief is really pressing this from Pan Am, they're required to submit a removal plan, a bona fide removal plan within 30 days.
Okay.
And they have to stick to that, so they can't just write up a plan, they have to meet these benchmarks, so the fining, that's what dictates it. So maybe for the next meeting, we'll have a full update, and we can show some of the photos if the board is interested, but I'll get the reports. But I know all departments, we gave them 2 weeks to get all information, and it was been a good effort. So
no, it's a good effort.
Really, the fire department issue.
yeah, really, that's where the most teeth were, and the chief has been great on that.
Is Joanne involved at all in conservation, or can be, or?
Yeah, the conservation has looked at it, but most of it is going to be through the fire department.
Okay. So there are some teeth there, and the MBTA has to build a wall behind the other side of the tracks there.
Yes, we are. There's no question between Alan, Cindy was out there as well. I've been out there. I know you sometimes live out there.
Yes, I take a ride once in a while.
We want some,
take a peek
we want
tomorrow
some
if you
screening
get a chance.
put up. We want even if it's interims. We want some screening put up now that the spring is here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we'll keep you updated.
I will send. I found something last night when I couldn't sleep at 2:00 in the morning because you guys probably heard it too from various residents. The train blocking Groton Harvard, Sandy Pond. I experienced it yesterday. Over 35 minutes at 3:00. So the school bus couldn't get down. Had to go around.
Oh, yeah, right down
Yeah. So it's
been
there.
like that for
so
50 years.
Last night I was unable to sleep. I don't know if it's the matter with the Bruins or what, but I found a statue. It was recent too. It was 2000 something.
15.
Massachusetts had all the states. They are only allowed to block the crossing for 5. Was it 5 minutes?
Yeah. According to that statute.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, there it is.
Oh, good. I asked Carly.
Depend on just a quick question. Does it all trains, or is it just commuter trains?
No,
or?
I think it's more of if a train's going by and it's long. I mean, that's fine. It's this stopping stuff because they pull out of here, they go by. You think the train, all right, I'll wait, and then it stops, and then it backs up, and then it dumps cars off, and then it pulls forward. I deal with that with the unloading facilities sometimes at my house, but I don't think it pertains because it's a private crossing there.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
Just for your information, we did work with Pan Am last year. We were successful. They got a state IRAP grant, Industrial Rail Access Program, to do congestion mitigation work back in the rail yard, which is doing this. So, nothing else.
And I know Pan Am likes to part with money, you know, they're about as cheap as it comes. So I found this, 2009. So I think Robert, and I think I forwarded it to the chiefs as well.
I sent it to the chiefs
Yeah.
and to town council.
But I mean, if it's
advise
documented, because there was something on Facebook last week that Allison was showing me that there was a bunch of people, and Scott, you might have seen it, Janice, it was like people going back and forth. It had to be the state police, it could, you know, this or that, it had to be Service Transportation Board, but it sounds to me like this might be a local.
I know that both of the chiefs take that, as do I, as do you, that point very seriously. I know that Sal Perler at the hospital has had concerns about that
that
because
Groundhog
sometimes
Road is,
sometimes it's a half hour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if
At
you
least.
can't get through Sandy Pond Road and you can't get through Groton Harvard Road, and you know, I mean, that really is a big delay. So I don't know, the chiefs might have some input on this. And like I said, over half an hour. I just stayed. I was annoyed, so I just wanted to see how long it took. Sandy Pond Road the other day, and it was over half an hour with school buses backing up and trying to turn around.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really frustrating. So maybe in the next meeting we can discuss that. All right, cool. And
All right, so,
minutes.
well, no, policy, no.
Yeah.
No, I know you jumped in
Oh, I'm
under
sorry,
new
I'm sorry,
business,
sorry,
but
sorry.
someone else actually had something.
Please, Selectman Livingston.
Not all about you.
I'm
So,
selfish.
so no, it's been about 4 years since our policies were updated and not. Some of it's minor, you know, town administrator, town manager, but there are a couple other things that full disclosure, I've already redlined mine copy, preparing to send it to Robert to work with him as far as some updates, so that we can make some recommendations to the board for approval.
Just
That's it.
updates, just to kind of bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years is a good time.
So, and then kind of go through all our policies, because a lot of our policies have not been looked at for at least 4 years, if not longer.
It's funny, I was just reading, as you guys were, something about the chairman's duties, and Jesus, I was awful. If you really read what, or all of us, mentor, I'm supposed to mentor you, so. let me
Well,
check into
no,
that.
such orientation must meet the requirements of the open meeting law, which, to be honest with you, I mean, when I first came on as a member, there were 5 of us. So someone mentoring me, well, would have really been quite pleasant if somebody had done that.
Yeah.
But I was
But
thrown into the fire.
I mean, some of the
so,
stuff,
you
I mean,
know,
it doesn't even mention a vice
right.
chair or
So,
anything,
but you know, but
it's
there,
kind of funny.
there's kind of an example of just little stuff that
Yeah.
needs to be cleaned up, and that and any
Arrange
any
orientation
of
for
our-
new members. We'll work on, well, actually.
Right, so-
Janice will work on that.
So,
Service
Robert
spokesman
worked with
of the
you.
board of at town meetings and present board's position unless otherwise determined.
I know, I saw that and I'm
make
thinking, we all
assignments.
spoke.
Remember
We
Jim
all
Fay
spoke.
did that when he first became chair? I think it was Pauline assigned her to go through old minutes from 20 years ago, just to be a pain.
I used to read the old minutes.
Make assignments.
while I was
Wow.
eating my lunch.
Wow.
Just because some of them were really
Good for you. I don't read the new minutes. Never mind the old
Some
minutes.
of them were like 20 pages long, and you got the full fight and everything. It was great. So anyway, so that's
Right.
all. Just to bring stuff up to date and work with Robert, and then bring it forward to the board for
We
approval.
reviewed the licenses 2 weeks ago, and I actually was surprised, as was Janice, that we are right up there with the fees. we're
Especially
charging.
considering how long ago they were last raised or even discussed.
Shirley's still at $25 for everything,
Yeah.
but I think I let you
See, I think that, you know, if you're only going to spend $25 on a license, that license don't mean anything to you.
No.
If you're gonna spend a decent amount of money, then
You're
that
right.
license is important to you,
Mhm.
and your business is probably gonna be run a little bit tighter than the one that's only got $25.
I agree.
So, but anyways,
I agree.
but we did look at it, which is what we should do,
Yeah.
and it was, and
Yeah, I was surprised.
and it was
I-
very
but, yeah.
surprising, and but we did what we were supposed to do.
Mhm.
So, that's it. So that was all.
Minutes?
I make a motion. I looked over the minutes. Minutes look good.
So did I.
I actually had to they're correct. That's what I'm trying to spit out. It's getting a little late.
I will second that.
Point of order. Mr. Administrator, or sorry, Mr. Manager. Since I am newly elected, I am not voting on this, correct? Because I was not
Yeah, I
at
would
the
just
point in time.
pass.
Yeah.
Well, you were present for some
Oh,
of it,
no,
so
I know.
you can let us know if because
I have no problem.
right.
I've reviewed them. I think
Okay,
they're
so at
fine,
least
yeah.
we know. So
I'll be honest with you, I never review the minutes. As long as it's, I'm sure they're great. It's on video, so just if anybody's looking for a backup, don't look at me.
Through the chair selectmanhood, you can vote however you want. There's no problem if you vote in the affirmative.
It's not, years ago, the minutes were backed up about 15 meetings in the past, so we're pretty good at this. So I second your motion for the April 17th, 2018. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will abstain.
All right. And what can I say?
Reorganization of the board.
Of selectmen. So thank you for letting me be chair this year. It was a good year. It was.
Well, you beat us off. I mean, you threatened us. We had no choice.
Yeah. And I thank you because, and Carly and Robert, because it was tough with Gary being out of town, and not any of his fault, but it was a little difficult for us sometimes. I know there was a few times where we may have called in sick or gone home sick. So it made it a little difficult, but I'm happy with what we got done, and it's usually a seamless transition here, so we'll continue that moving forward. So
You had a very successful year as
um,
chairman.
Thank you. And it's good that we just work. It's not really titles, but we all work well together, and I anticipate that moving forward with Scott as well. So I would like to make a motion to nominate Selectman Livingston, who is currently vice chair, to be the chairman for the next 12 months.
I will second.
Accept.
All right, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'm only doing this because it's a little bit of a hazing thing. I'm going to nominate, make a motion to nominate Selectman Hood as clerk for the next year.
Seconded.
So you can be. And that means nothing in the grand scheme of how things move in the future. It's
Right.
just you can read those.
Minutes as you-
Yeah. And I'm not a very good clerk, and I may have set Gary I used to call FDR because he had been chair for about 8 years out of the 12. And
Yep.
I've been clerk more times than and I think Janice has as well. For some reason, we kind of rotated a lot there. So.
Well, even when I'm not clerk, the clerk
Yeah.
has tendency to not be around that night when something's important, and then I have to be clerk, and
Yeah, I'm not a good
I'll
clerk.
plan accordingly.
Yeah.
I'm not
No,
a good
this
clerk.
time I'm being smart. I'm leaving town. And then of course nominate Mr. Hellman for vice chair.
Oh,
I will second.
I accept. So on the motion of the clerk, all in favor for Scott?
Aye.
And the motion for vice chair, all in favor? Yeah. Aye.
Aye.
Having said that, Madam Chair, you can make the motion to adjourn.
Wait.
What did I forget? What did I forget? What?
The other.
We have the committees.
Oh,
So
where was
currently,
that? Where did I miss that?
you fell
Well, it's
asleep.
part of the real.
Yeah. So
Oh, I thought, all right, yeah.
currently you're on capital planning. We have executive by board vacant. We have Montechusett Planning Organization representative vacant. OPEB Board of Trustees I'm on, and Water and Sewer Rate Review Committee. I'd kind of like to stay on my committees.
I would really like to stay on capital. I think Mary likes me. I think we do a good job. You've been on by board, Scott.
Yeah,
so
I would love to stay on by board.
All right.
Okay.
No, I think that would that'd be great. So.
Now, just out of curiosity, this MPO representative.
Well, that was Gary.
Right.
And he did go, I mean, he did go to those meetings.
Right. Do we,
Is he looking for something to do? Does it have to be
No.
a selectman member?
That's
No,
the question.
Because it won't be me.
Here's the
don't
challenge.
travel
with
well.
This one, the MPO, the Montezut Planning, is the committee that oversees the TIP, the Transportation Improvement Project. The problem is they tend to meet at MART in Fitchburg, and they tend to meet during the day.
Yeah.
The other caveat is
Does not
every
work well
town
for us.
has a rep, a voting rep, but the rep has to be a selectman. In other words, I have gone to the meetings on behalf of the town, but I can't vote, and the board can't authorize somebody to vote.
Could we leave that, let's just say you go. Most
Yeah.
of those meetings are snore fest, I'm sure. But I mean, if we know there's something on the tip that we want to, could we leave it open to?
I heard you were looking to catch up on your sleep.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna make a rep.
Exactly.
That we do leave it vacant. And when we're aware of a meeting coming up
Yeah.
that would need the presence of one of us, because especially since it is during the day and everything, that, you know, someone raise their hand and say, I'd like to go.
I mean, I think that works. So
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Because I mean, we know what's coming on the agenda and
Yeah,
stuff.
we
So
have a couple, just so the board knows, East Main Street, a couple of projects that, so we could do it that way. Some towns do it that way, because if a selectman shows up, he or she gets the seat.
Okay. So do we need a motion
Do we have to specify which selectman, or is it, ahead of time? I guess is the only concern I would have.
They like to know in advance,
Okay.
so,
But
but we can.
But it can vary by meeting, I guess.
Right, we can plan,
Okay.
so their meetings are monthly, so we can plan.
Okay. All right.
and just one other thing is Bruno's going to be sitting in front of us with an approved plan in May. Wasn't it May? We have one more
Yeah,
meeting in May, right?
All of the final design comments before it comes to the board are due this Friday.
Okay.
And then it'll be coming back to the board. So everything is still on
Back on the
track.
schedule?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There's a committee here missing. A board missing.
Okay, which one?
The J-Boss.
The what?
The
It doesn't exist anymore, does it?
the joint.
J-Boss.
J-Boss. What is the status of that?
That's a good question. So the joint boards of selectmen,
I'm busy.
there is that J-Boss has not been convening. However, there is some interest in having it reconvene.
Who's chairman? What town's chairman right now?
It's good. It's
Gary
going,
was
it's
chairman,
It's
but
going to be
last
Harvard.
time, Harvard.
So Selectman
Oh,
Wallace.
Harvard likes to have meetings.
Yeah, she's interested in getting it back up. And from what I understand, I think there is some value. I mean, this school contract thing needs to.
That is
you
such a
gentlemen
farce.
heard
I mean, that
come
was
up.
explained at the
So-
study of the night, how that doesn't come up. But
I think if J-Boss is going to reconvene, obviously the board could pick a rep for that.
does it have to be a selectman as well from?
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes in the past, we've had joint board meetings where all of the selectmen have gone, or.
Yeah, I think I went.
did it too with
I
Gary.
think I went. Yeah, because
That's why
you.
didn't-
Yeah.
I didn't put it on there because it hasn't been constituted. I'm glad you reminded it of, but there's rumor of it getting back together.
But it doesn't have to be an assigned member. It just has to be a member of
Yeah.
said
Right.
board.
So again,
And those are at
that's
night.
also one of those things that if all three of us said we wanted to go, you would just let them know all three of us going to go.
Yeah, obviously someone's.
Because it is a joint board.
Right. And the four issues on the horizon, one is the West Main Street partnership with Devon's to do the streetscape improvement, which Mark and Alan are working on. The other issue is this school contract issue remains unresolved. The third one is they're looking for a new director because Thatcher left.
Yeah, it's too
And
bad.
the fourth issue is Vicksburg Square.
Is it back again?
I just got a call today, and now before Thatcher left, this was like a 50,000 foot
You just stressed Scott out.
But I have reason to believe that they want to do something up there. I don't have the specifics, but
It's all fenced in now.
It's all fenced in.
They're going to have to do something or tear it down.
Ed
at some point,
Starzyk
yeah.
called today. He's up, you know, because they don't have
He's back.
a leader right now, and asked about coming to the Board of Selectmen probably in June to talk about Vicksburg Square. Now, I was talking to Thatcher about it, and I mentioned to him last night not to talk out of turn, but the town does have some significant concerns up there. And I know, Scott, when you were on the FinCom, you did an analysis, and it was even 2000.
I'm not sure I was on the board yet.
And there are concerns that, and they're aware of that, so they want to come, I'll keep the board apprised, probably do a June meeting very briefly to start that discussion. What is that discussion? We'll see.
Okay.
So, all right.
Was there anything else? Oh, the meeting at the school was good. Robert and Scott and I attended. I was late. Scott had to leave early. I was late. I know you guys were shocked. But the presentation, which for the proposals for the school moving forward, and we've asked Dr. Malone in the future to come and kind of synopsize what they presented, but I thought it was a pretty good,
Yeah.
they did.
What surprised me was that even if we were to move ahead with the letter of intent for any kind of renovation or new building, it was still like 2025 before it would actually open.
Yeah. It's
So it kind of feels, to me, I walked away thinking, well, we should really start making decisions on doing something.
I agree with very soon. And whether they were good. They did a renovation of Page Hilltop. No. Tearing half of it down and putting an addition on. No. These are all costs. There's a higher cost. There's actually enough land in the rear of Page Hilltop to build a new school, which was probably the best proposal. Obviously, in my opinion, it was less money and it didn't disrupt the kids, obviously.
Mhm.
And then there was and it was similar to Laura White. And then there was the combined school, which the more and more I think about it, I don't like as much. And that was regional elementary school, which I think presents problems the more and more I think about it dealing with Shirley. So, I mean, and that was over at middle school and in Choir Lane from Devon's, and it was, but they did offer a lot of options that we can obviously discuss moving forward. So it was a pretty comprehensive study, but there's no renovating the school per se in the short term. I mean, there's short-term fixes, but for the next, 5 years, but there's no changing the windows and painting it,
Yeah.
as we all knew.
Yeah.
So more to come on that. All right.
Anything else?
I have nothing else.
Late meeting we haven't hit 10 in a while. Thanks, Scott.
Entertaining a motion to
It's my
adjourn.
first time. I'll second the motion to adjourn.
I almost said it, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair says aye. Good night, everybody.
We got a stack of paperwork.
Oh.